Okay, I've started recording as well. Okay, so I'll do 3, 2, 1, and then I'll just clap.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Cool. Got it.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, we already got a little, a bit of fan art for the Sans Hosen brand. Would it be called?
Yeah. Franchise. Why not?
Franchise. Yeah. Now available in your state. What would it sell? Like just underwear?
Well, of course. It's in the name. You got to be prepared. We're not perverts. We may not be wearing trousers, but
You're close.
And they don't blow their own trumpets.
Give them to me.
dignity.
Did you know in San Francisco you can walk around naked, but they introduced this law at the behest of restaurants because essentially restaurants wanted people to wear at least underpants when they walk in, and they call it the skid mark law. So we don't have a problem with you being naked, but we have no way of verifying that you have a clean anus.
Oh,
and that you're not going to smooch your anus into our furniture.
Oh, no, that's absolutely fucking revolting. I don't see why you should need to clarify something like that. Surely common decency would prevail, but clearly not. And if just full on nudity is, well, presumably it's not that common, right? But if it's if it's regulated, it's damn. That's nuts. That can't be fucking true. You're having me on, right?
That's what I've heard. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. Obviously, that would require some sort of effort. But yeah, when you see shops that say stuff like "no shoes, no shirt, no service."
Yeah.
You can't go in shirtless and be served. Do you think it'd be okay if you went in shirtless, but you had a note from your doctor? He cannot wear a shirt because he has very irritable leprosy.
I'm fairly certain. I mean, maybe at the beginning of last year that might have flown, but I'm sure now you try that shit on there, they'll barge you out with a nail bat.
Hey, this is Dr. Pike Madras, and I spend a lot of time at the gym, and you gotta let this guy in because look at him, he's ripped. Is what my doctor would say to you, Mr. Man. So please give me this 6-pack, because it's always a liquor store. It's never,
Absolutely,
It's not like Clinton's Cards has to put this. If you come in here and you're not wearing a shirt, we're not going to sell you a card. Well, I guess we'll get started then. So, again, how do you want to introduce it, Damien?
We already have. Let's open on the clap and then just kind of waffle on as per usual.
Completely uncut, just uploaded, doesn't even sync.
Yes, full
There's
on
no
genteel.
thumbnail.
Genteel.
Like you thought it was an ironic no thumbnail, but it isn't. It is just the YouTube or SoundCloud or Apple no thumbnail. We basically almost couldn't get it up. I think you have to upload a thumbnail on YouTube, right? Otherwise it won't do it, or it'll pick one for you, and it'll be like the one frame of you picking your own nose that you didn't even know you left in.
Excellent. Okay. Well,
our algorithm has compiled all the footage of you over the years and made this extremely accurate deepfake of you picking your nose, and that's the thumbnail.
I mean, you wouldn't need to surely need to fake that. I mean, I'm fairly certain.
No, I've got an OnlyFans page which is just me full of me like knuckle deep.
Oh, you'll have to hold on a second.
Is that your dog or mine?
Oh, I knew this was going to be a problem. They started acting up as soon as I went for that water, so they're in and out. And that's normally fine. The other two are pretty silent. They'll just... but it's Riley that's going in and out, and he sings like a raging pussy, that one.
Tell us about your dogs, Damien. What are their names?
We have Riley, who's a Staffordshire Bull Terrier. We have Nala, a boxer, I think Staffy Cross, something like that. And then we have Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, who is a pug Jack Russell cross, who has a profoundly stupid face.
Well, what's stupid about it?
Well, it's mainly a pug face. It's just got two engorged, swollen eyes, and yeah,
Some person in the past who got into breeding was like, some people breed dogs, for speed, efficiency, some to make them cuddly, some to give them a certain colour. Me, I'm all about the jowls.
absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, surely a pug itself is not a naturally occurring dog. So someone decided that they really wanted to.
None of them are naturally occurring dogs. I mean, they're all, their DNA is all the same, right?
Yeah.
They're all the same animal.
Yeah.
Science!
Yeah, and it's terrifying what's kind of been done to them, really.
What we've done to them.
I don't
What we've done to
imagine like the shape of a pug's face. It's even kind of would occur naturally in the genetics.
No, I mean,
I'm pretty.
don't you have to clean their faces with cuticles? I mean, that's...
Yeah,
that's
that was
not
something
natural.
that when this dog was younger, I had to do. It seems to be something that he's grown out of, which is nice because I didn't like wiping all that weeping pus from his eyes. Seems to have, whatever it was, seems to have sorted itself out. Or he's blind and I just don't realise. Either way, it's less effort for me now. It's fine. He's my favourite because he's
No
zero
one would know
maintenance.
if anyone's blind in your house, though, Damien, because you never turn the lights on. And also, you told me as well, last time I spoke to you, you told me that you'd taken to, what was it, stapling duvets in front of the windows.
Oh, I mean, that was a long fucking time ago, but that is true, yeah. There was
Right.
a point when I lived here, well, close to a decade ago now, but for the longest time we had no working boiler here. And it's a big
Why
house.
did you say it like that? We had no working boiler here?
Because we did.
You didn't have a working boiler. You had no source of heat.
Yes, no source of heat whatsoever, and this is something that persisted for a long time, longer than you really think is absolutely normal. We're talking years. It's absolutely
Honestly,
nuts.
people, the people listening, all four of you, think of Mrs. Havisham's house.
Yeah.
Do you know who Mrs. Havisham is?
Yeah, Great Expectations, correct?
Yeah, you had to read that at school, right?
I did. I didn't read it.
Neither did I.
I based my book report on that episode of South Park since it beautifully synopsisized it. I don't know. Condensed it
I
down.
remember the essays we had to do for it. You could choose out of like 10, and all 10 questions, and all of the questions were, how does this character interact with this character? How does the author use this character to evoke this and all this? And there was one question right at the bottom, and it was, how does Dickens use landscape to confer, I don't know what, to build theme or something?
Mm-hmm.
It was a really boring question, and no one else wanted to do it. And I thought, well, that's great, because having watched the film, I can just talk about the marshes, which is all at the beginning. And I just did that.
And I didn't need to read past the first chapter. Job done.
Honestly, it's not even something I wouldn't want to read. It's just if you're going to make me read it, I definitely don't want to read it.
Oh yeah. I'm sure it was a ripping good yarn, but yeah, like you say, being it's not even contrarian really, but if they make you do it, like no, I was too much of it was too obstinate at school. They thought, fuck that.
No, I mean, it was much better than the other stuff we did, which was John Donne, a poet from Elizabethan times. Did you do him?
No, I did.
No.
I can't remember what it was called now. It was something like it was a story about the fens of East fucking England.
Spinning through the fens and the spinneys.
Romping through the fens and spinneys.
Spinneys, what's a spinney?
Fuck knows. I'm presuming some kind of, I don't know, small field.
Is it like you go to Norfolk and it's like, is it Eskimos or Inuit who have, 18 words for snow? Because they're so used to it, they all these different types of snow aren't the same thing to them, so they've got 18 different words for it.
Right.
Is it like that in Norfolk where they've got 18 different words for marsh and bog? Slough. This is Slough. I know it's not in Norfolk, but
No,
could be
but
an
it
enclave.
yeah, it has a certain quality to it. The sound of that word that fits right in with what you're talking about there.
Yeah, yeah. I remember my good friend Skinner. Hey, Skinner, who we've mentioned a few times, and I guess in my biopic would be played by Principal Skinner. I remember him with like a perfect element, not overbearing, but just perfect presence, but nuanced element of depression. When I said, "What have you been up to?" and he said, "Oh, I was out clubbing in Cirencester the other night." Cirencester.
Jesus.
It's like you might as well just call your town Cyst.
Yeah. Ailment.
Ailment. Welcome to the Independent Republic of Wonky Elbow.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I have never heard of that town, Cirencester. I don't know where in England it is, but I have a perfect picture of exactly what it is from the context of that story. So thank you very much.
What is it? Go on, tell me.
Oh, I mean, I imagine. Oh, it's going to be a small kind of rinky-dink country village, no? It'll have at best. Well, you said that you went to a club, right? So that'll be the club there. It'll be a social club during the day.
I do have information on the club, though.
Okay. And I imagine the only other hotspots there would be two pubs. One of note, and by that I mean hygienic, and the other is something that's good in a pinch.
I think he said that the club, he said there were 3 clubs, so that must change your opinion.
Oh.
And he
bit
went
more
to the
upmarket.
biggest one. And he said the biggest one was about 800 feet square, with like a 6'5" ceiling. It was painted like purple, but it was all really dark because all the lights were off. And there were people in there, but it was just like a bar and then this big empty room. There were no like partitions or anything, or even like anywhere to sit down. And they had like I mean, I guess it isn't a disco ball anymore, having not been into any nightclubs for 50 years, but I guess it's just lights that sort of simulate that effect. It was just that and music. And like in the middle at the back, they had a pole that like no one was using. So, like ever. No one went anywhere near. And that was it.
And did he mention what the capacity was like? Or was it just him, his entourage?
I don't know, 100 people, his entourage. Yeah.
I imagine.
Imagine if he went on his own.
I mean, the way you're telling that story, I mean, I see him there with his friends, or I mean, all 2 of them. I think. I imagine it was. I see a group of 3 for some reason. I'm trying to paint myself out of this picture, but all right. Fair point. I see at best 15 people in this room.
Yeah,
and with it's like
and they're all regulars.
Yeah, it's like 10, 11, so it's kind of it's like it's approaching kind of peak, not really peak clubbing times, but it should be capacity, right, or something that isn't quite so depressing as this.
Someone says, "Oh, don't worry, you'll be buzzing in an hour."
I mean, if it was
hour?
me, I mean, I would consider that buzzing because all I can think is no queues at the bar. Quite frankly, out, and fucking shit-faced.
Yeah, I can't think of anywhere I've ever been where it's been packed, and I thought this is better.
Oh, good lord, no. I've been an old man for since I was 12. No, I couldn't stand something like that. If I see too many people, I'm already walking away from that. I'd like to just, drink my Tennent's in a dark room, absolutely by myself.
Yeah, I'm just a different sort of person to a clubber because I can only think of like 2 reasons to go like night clubbing, and it's either to like pick up people, and for me that would just be like, what? Sorry, what? I mean, no one's gonna fucking come up to me and talk to me at a club, are they? The way I'm going to seduce someone is by giving them a wry look that I'm lucky enough to land. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to go up to that guy in the fucking orange t-shirt or whatever, the balding 21-year-old. But I guess the other reason would be you take some speed or some ecstasy and then you dance for 7 hours, I guess. And that doesn't doesn't appeal to me either. If I'm going to take some speed or some ecstasy, I'm going to fucking clean the house.
Yeah,
You know, I'm going to utilize that. I'm going to get stuff done, and it's going to have the same effect.
yeah,
It's
so
just
that's
I'll
some
have
good
achieved
constructive energy. Yeah, absolutely, I get that.
Honestly, I don't know why you'd ever clean your bathroom and not
Be high.
be
How
high,
could you
yeah.
manage? I mean, yeah. So, update on the fucking toilet situation here.
Oh, good. I was worried we
Oh
weren't
yes,
going to get
yeah,
our
yeah,
toilet
yeah.
chat in.
Of course, yeah, no, it's that time of day.
I imagine it's just like encrusted with oatmeal.
I have been keeping it in good order, all right? But unfortunately, what has now happened is that the third and final toilet has fucking eaten it. So now my
Jesus Christ.
my dutiful flush bucket is not always available.
What do you mean?
My dad.
You mean what? Because your dad is using the flush bucket in his own toilet?
Yep. So
You have your own toilets and a spare, and none of them work.
Yep, that is absolutely right. Yeah. And now
They came for the first toilet, and I said nothing. Then they came for the second toilet, and I said nothing. And then they came for me, and there were no toilets to speak up. Man,
Yeah.
so which toilet was the last toilet? Was it the upstairs one that I intimately know?
No, that was the second one to go. Yeah, that's the one presumably that's the one I've been using the one you're talking about. The one that the last one is my dad has an ensuite bathroom in his bedroom. So that was the one that's just died. But he's taken to using. I have this plastic waste basket that I bought from IKEA like fucking 15 years.
It's a garbage bin. Oh my god!
It's an office like paper bin. It's that I bought for £1 15 years ago, right? But unlike the
What
other
a journey that's been on.
unlike the other bins, it's not wicker. There's no holes in it, so I can use it.
Yes,
in the
I
capacity
didn't
of a
think
bucket.
that you were fucking flushing the toilet with a wicker basket.
No, of course not.
Like a
They're
mad
really quick.
person. Like, what the fuck? And then mopping the floor afterwards, or just leaving the water?
Oh no,
Whatever.
that's good clean water. That's as good as a mop. Let that dry
So
naturally. It's as clean as
I
it's
was
going
going
to
to say that the problem really is that you only have one bucket, but you don't have a bucket. I
No.
mean, you might as well just. I'm going to go around there, aren't I? And I'm like, there's just going to be like 5 cups of water. And you're going to have to like macerate the shit down the fucking U-bend.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was almost tempted at one point to start using pots and pans if I didn't get my flush bucket back.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I'd say a saucepan.
I'm trying to isolate which pans that I know my old man likes to use the most, so I know what to gun for, as a sort of to impose a penance on him. I think you can unwittingly eat my own turds. But yeah, I mean,
So you're not saying that you're going to use a saucepan to put water in and flush the toilet. You're saying you're just going to shit into
oh no,
kitchen utensils. I mean, why not go for a blender?
I mean, the reason the bucket quotation marks is effective is because of the amount of water that it holds. But if I'm to use a saucepan, that's a lot less water, so I can't just pour it away. I'm going to have to work it down as well. I could potentially go back and forth. I don't have the patience for that. So no, I'm going to just to kind of loosen it all up and then just pump it. And that's it. And then just put it straight back on the shelf. And I'll put a little bit of tape on the handle so I know which one, if it's not immediately obvious. And I'll use everything else in the kitchen except for that. Job done.
Oh, well, yeah, it doesn't sound like a problem at all.
Oh, no. But if he's pinched at night and I won't go and wake him up, but I'll just let it fill up. And by the morning, it looks like a fucking war crime, and it's awful.
Oh, well, yeah.
I love this lockdown, baby.
How did the last toilet bite it? I don't think I've ever, yeah.
I
Maybe I've
have
had a
no
toilet stop
idea.
working, but
I have
Yeah.
absolutely no idea. I'm presuming it's just going to be the pumps just completely fucked. That's what's wrong with mine, but there's...
the pump, you mean... I mean, it's a very simple mechanism, right?
Yeah, but for whatever... I mean, I've I've taken it apart and had a look at it. For whatever reason, I don't. There's something in there that's obviously got something broken on. There's some kind of internal mechanism that's completely fucked, and it's not a question of because I've seen them. Some that have a valve, so you just release that, and that's what flushes the water through. That's not there. They've got some kind of presumably more modern fixture in place to kind of take care of that, and
blasts the water in there.
Yeah, something like that. But that's just totaled. So ironically, something that's supposed to be more, I don't know if it's supposed to be more reliable, but definitely more sophisticated, fails. If they just had a little tab that you'd lift up, there'd be no problem. Instead, I've been relegated to this sodding bucket. I didn't know what happened to the old man's toilet. I just noticed that I was woken up at like 5 a.m. To the sound of the bath taps running in the bathroom I use across the hallway, and that bucket being filled, the bin being filled up. It's like, oh dear. My dad's he never goes in there because he has his own his own space, of course. And I mean,
you knew instantly.
I knew instantly, even I mean, I'm kind of just coming to, not really awake, but I put two and two together immediately. It's like, oh great, that's another thing. We're gonna be going to war over this fucking bucket. I know it.
We were saying before we started, Damien was saying, oh, I hate the lockdown. I'm so depressed. It's really getting to me. And I'm listening to this and I'm like, why would that be? This sounds like an ideal situation.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry to sidetrack, but that was breaking toilet news. I'm done now. I'm done.
Sidetrack from the topic that we had, started, I guess. No, not at all. I was going to say, if my toilet broke, I don't know what I'd do. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it would break, but if it magically stopped working, yeah, I mean, well, I guess I would have to use a bucket as well for a bit. But I would definitely get on that.
At this point, I'm thinking it might just be easier just to go out to the garden and just shit out there and just say it's the dogs. No one would know.
Just do that twice a day.
It's like, why is the toilet roll by the kitchen, by the back door in the kitchen? No reason, old man. It's absolutely fine. Look the other way.
I mean, it sounds like your garden is a war crime, so I don't know if anyone would notice.
Yeah, it very much is. Maybe I'll be so shameless as to share some photos on this, but not today.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I suppose that would be interesting. Here's some fan art, and here's a picture of Damien's backyard. And it's just nondescript, just covered in turds. That's it. What were we expecting?
Yeah, coincidentally, covered in turds is the name of my biopic, by the way.
Okay, well, tell me about your biopic.
I did. It might surprise you.
Thought about this at all?
Yeah.
Do you remember when I used to make you watch things?
I did, and then sometimes I would.
Yeah.
And I'd watch up to 50% of some of those movies as well at regular speed.
Yes. In 3 sessions or less.
Oh God. Sorry, I'm just getting flashbacks of Twisted Pair. No, thank you.
Again, I just think of a pair of, extremely dangly, twisted blue bollocks.
Oh dear. Yeah, it's just.
It's about a surgery It's about a brilliant surgeon who has to psych himself up to carefully unravel somebody's knotted bollocks.
Well, testicular torsion is no joke. Yeah, that can be very serious.
And yes, they are Neil's bollocks. Got him in again.
Fortunately, as a 60-year-old man, those pendulous nads, there's a lot of room to work. It's not so tightly knotted. It can be.
I don't know though. I don't think they are pendulous because I do remember what they were like when we saw them.
Oh God, double down! How did I fucking forget that?
and they weren't pendulous then. And he sort of strikes me as a jockstrap man who's probably kind of aware that he doesn't want them to be pendulous for whatever reason, and he probably has a very young.
Don't say
Scrot.
it. Don't. Oh man, you said it. You wretched little shit. Oh, I don't know. What we need to consider, right? Is
And a
that
smooth gooch.
what we need to consider, which could be doing, it's a bit of cinema magic. He's floating in water, so he's not. Those
Go
nads
back and
aren't.
animate an enormous dong in there, or just a turd floating away.
Oh, I mean that's what they've scrubbed out.
It's reaching escape velocity.
Oh my god. Yeah, all it needs is just a careful pinch and it's free.
It's the equivalent of a midwife going, "It's one last push, you're almost there."
That's why he's face down in the water. He's fucking knackered. It's a massive shit. I mean, we're talking
Have a
prolapse.
water birth, they said. Yeah, your biopic.
Well, I thought we could go kind of two routes.
Yeah.
Since the latter half of my life has been exceptionally boring, most of it has been spent in darkness, sat in front of a tumble dryer, being weird. So I thought for that, just be like 3 hours of that kind of art house experience. And in light of some recent news, I'll throw him a bone because he's now a prolific weirdo. Army Hammer, I thought would be a good choice for that. Just jacking it in front of a tumble dryer for 3 hours.
Army Hammer, who's that?
Oh, have you not heard? I mean, he hasn't had any kind of remarkable roles. The first and kind of last thing I've seen him in was The Social Network as the Winklevoss twins.
Winklevoss.
Winkelmesser.
Winkelmesser Hoffenschmeister.
But his career has just evaporated into absolutely nothing. Almost, presumably, fucking blacklisted these last couple of weeks because details of his sexual activities have come to light with some of his ex-partners and what have you. And this man likes to engage in cannibal fetishes, apparently.
Right.
I think one picture that was doing the rounds was one of his girlfriends. He carved his initials into I couldn't tell what part of the arm or leg or something like that, and just
like the Nixium guy.
The who?
Have you heard about that Nixium Cult?
No, I've never heard of that. Never. What's that?
Well, not to hijack things, but there's a cult called Nixium, which is almost comes across like a weird corporate training thing, but it's a cult, and the guy in charge is this sort of bizarre little weirdo narcissist who he's now in jail. I think he got something like 100 years in jail because he essentially set up this sort of cult of personality where he would sort of teach people to be better and to be chill about themselves, and this is why you feel all angsty. But also, he set up sort of a secret society within this society, recruiting women to give him blowjobs, and he would carve his initials and the initials of his top lieutenant, I guess his first initial and her first initial, into these women. But he didn't tell them that. He told them it was like a neat symbol. And then when they looked in the mirror, they realized it was, his initials and her initials.
It was an exquisite rendering of his own face. How he did that in 20 seconds, fucking remarkable.
I mean, honestly, dude, just have a wank.
Yeah.
But so, okay, well...
Well, there wasn't much more.
What's he doing? So was he holding these women down and doing that then? What was?
No, apparently a lot of it was all kind of consensual. No one's kind of alleging sexual abuse in the, nothing rapey. Apparently these people were kind of playing along.
How do you carve your initials into someone?
Oh, because apparently
was he carving them or was he branding
carving?
them?
Yeah, no, because there was knife play in the bedroom.
Bastard! Motherfucker! Sorry.
It's all right.
Continue.
Yeah.
Continue.
So yeah, he was
300 RPM.
That's a very special speed for robots.
Yes, go on.
So yeah, he wasn't branding them. He was carving it in. I mean, I don't know how.
Right.
There's one instance they were talking about that they showed a photo of, but
So
alleged
loads of
knife-
women have written on them.
basically, yeah. But they alleged that there was a lot of knife play in the bedroom, and they were fucking throwing around all these kind of private text messages around, and then with some of the stuff that he was kind of talking about what he was into, and he kept one of the things they chose to quote was how he wanted to carve out one of their ribs and barbecue it and eat it in front of them, and it seems to be
Eat it in front of them, so they would be alive.
presumably
watching
so.
him.
I mean,
Right.
the details from what I read were sparse. I mean, I heard that there
It's
was some
bizarre
kind
that you would barbecue. I mean, okay, it's a rib, but I don't know. You'd think
Get
that,
a nice
if
herb rub
you're
in
into
there.
cannibalism, you'd think, human flesh, that's the best flesh. I love it. It's precious. Don't fucking barbecue it. It's like, oh yeah, I spent all this time, capturing this person and, fattening them up like veal, tenderizing them, convincing them I wasn't going to eat them so they wouldn't get too stressed, and then bam, killed them, carefully butchered them, and then I'm just going to cover it in fucking A1.
I mean, just because he mentioned barbecue doesn't mean it has to be cheap. He might have an exquisite herb rub. He
Might
have
be like
some
really
nice-
good, like Kobe barbecue sort of thing.
Yeah, he could have like one of those huge kind of smoking ovens, in his yard.
Well, he's lost Fraser.
So
No one's going to understand that.
I mean, I'm not sure I totally do.
Because the wheelchair guy
Oh,
that
of course,
Fraser
yeah,
befriends
fucking hell.
is really into barbecue.
Yeah. So that's
All right, we're going to have to go through it again, Damien. You're getting sloppy on your Fraser law. And Fraser sees barbecue, quite correctly, as garbage food. But he doesn't need to put his nose about it. Why can't he enjoy garbage food and good food as well? I don't understand.
I did. Yes.
I love a really nicely done, expensive filet mignon. But, I'm not above eating some cheesy Wotsits or some quavers. I haven't had quavers in years.
Do they have them in the States?
No.
Good Lord, man.
No. I remember buying a packet of quavers once, and they were salt and vinegar quavers. And I couldn't fucking believe it. There should only be one.
Yeah.
The packet was in yellow. It just had a little blue bit. Like, what, I meant to see that? It's yellow. Yellow means cheesy. It's quavers.
Yeah. I mean, I was about to say, I'm
going to
appalled
write to
that
my MP.
they ever had such a thing, but I have this vague memory of something like that existing. Was there like a pink one for prawn cocktail as well, or something? There's
You don't think you give skips, are you?
No, but I'm pretty sure Skips had various flavors as well at one point.
Do you remember when you didn't have enough money and you had to just settle with Space Invaders?
I'll put my hand up and say I quite like fucking Space Invaders, and I quite like the fact that when I was buying them, they were 10p.
Yes, they were 10p, and I remember when we lived together, occasionally one of us would have a poverty meal, which would be it would be like some 50p tomato soup with 3 packets of Space Invaders.
Oh man,
You remember that? And occasionally I'd treat myself. I'd be like, no, I didn't get any Space Invaders. I got some flaming hot Monster Munch.
Oh yeah, no, they were fucking tits. I don't see them anymore, and my heart breaks. But
You don't see Monster Munch anymore.
no, not the flaming hot ones. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm not. That's not to say they're not there. I'm just a plank. But I'm fairly certain I can beat you on the poverty meal front, because I know a couple of times I did this when you were out of the house, because I didn't want to be seen doing this.
Just masturbate into your own mouth. Recreate short bus.
It's funny because it's true.
Oh.
No, I would have because there was absolutely nothing left, and I was not that I was refusing to buy food. I couldn't. I would have Ritz crackers and salad cream.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. That's not that bad.
Oh, I don't know. There was something.
I would have bread and Henderson's relish.
Oh, that sounds nice though.
It was nice, but it wasn't good. I mean, I can still feel it in my pancreas or whatever organ would take care of vinegar.
I remember when I would sit down and eat that stuff. Our little kitchen in that flat looked. I think we discussed it looked like a fucking tattoo parlor at the back of a tattoo,
Taiwan or something.
something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember just sitting there with a plate. For whatever reason, I was sophisticated enough to decant the Ritz onto a plate rather than just eat it out of a box because I didn't want to be an animal, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I just had this moment of awareness, just dipping these crackers into this fucking salad cream, sat at that fucking table, which, as I remember, was almost like a fucking pub bench or something like that. It wasn't a regular dining room table or anything like that. Not that there was room, but it was weird. It wasn't a conventional
weird.
table.
No, it wasn't. It was a table like the landlord had gotten from his like mum's house or something.
Yeah,
It was like a big side table. You couldn't get your legs under it.
Yeah. And I just had this moment of kind of awareness, and I knew exactly what I looked like doing this in this environment, and it was very, very fucking upsetting.
And I can only imagine that you were sans Hosen there.
Absolutely.
I cannot imagine you were wearing underpants. I mean, it must have been like you in underpants and a wife beater that, although are not part of the same set and are, different ages. Maybe the underpants were 2 years old. I could see the wife beater being like 5 years old. They're sort of both old enough, and you haven't washed them for long enough that they are exactly the same cover. And it sort of gives the effect that you were wearing some sort of egg costume, just on your torso.
Except for the fact that I can promise you that the crotch of this underwear will have been worn away, so I can.
So it would just be like crotchless underpants.
Well, yes and no. It's not like my dick is hanging out, but I'm fairly certain that
Ramsey style.
if I just kind of jiggle one of my thighs, that balls will be hanging. Did I say thighs?
Yeah.
Oh, thighs. Sorry. If I jiggle my thighs.
It's okay.
That balls would definitely
don't do that. Did you know if I gyrate myself in this way, my balls will pop out?
I'm not
Get away from me.
I'm not saying it as a threat like I would do it now. I'm just saying that's the risk with that kind of quality of underwear that I'm guaranteed that I will have been wearing in that situation.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, and possibly a baseball cap.
Yeah, and so if you want to palette swap Army Hammer in there, just covered in shit, that's my biopic.
So why? Yeah, you were telling me about Army Hammer. So you said his career's over because all of this has come out. So why has it come out? And tell me more. I mean, I'm not familiar with him. I know. I can imagine the Winklevoss twins as one person, just about. So it's that guy, right?
Yeah.
What else has he been in? I've honestly never heard of him.
He's not done anything of any kind of note. I seem to remember there was the Lone Ranger. I never actually saw that movie.
Oh,
but,
right,
he was in that a few years ago. But he's
starring
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, yeah.
Yeah. There's I don't know, just rehashing his fucking Jack Sparrow routine, but somehow even more culturally insensitive.
Yeah, I mean, I found Jack Sparrow especially culturally insensitive to drunk British men.
Yes, yeah.
Because it was just too close to the bone. It was bizarre.
Oh, for me, it fucking was.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yes, because my idea for your biopic we will go into later, but yeah, it's not imaginative.
No, I imagine you've landed on that like a sumo wrestler in a fucking second.
So Army Hammer.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was.
It's an interesting name.
I suppose it is. I've never. I can imagine Hammer is is a regular enough surname, but I've not come across any armies before. I don't know if that's short for something. I don't care to find out. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess I like in America that you can be named fucking anything. And that's just par for the course, I guess. Yeah, because I mean, I remember as I've said before, I went to 2 secondary schools, and the first one I went to was like a pretty sort of bad sinker state school, and it was like 40% non-white, and there were kids there with all sorts of names, and no one gave a shit that my name was Georg. But the school where I met Damien, which was sort of very middle class and like all white, they couldn't believe my name was George Rockall-Schmidt. Right?
Yeah, I seem to remember that.
I mean, they couldn't believe that your middle name was Lindsay. Sorry, did you not want me to say that? Mortimer, I mean. Mortimer.
I've been outed again. Fuck, No, I don't
But
give a
you
shit.
outed yourself, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's one thing. I used to give a shit about
do-
that when I was a kid because I think there were certain people that used to fucking love that was a girly name. I don't really give a shit myself, but
I never understood, like, people would say, like, you spelled your name wrong. You spelled your name wrong. You spelled your name wrong. Like, I didn't fucking name myself. I didn't, I wasn't like 1 year old and write George without the E at the end on my...
I signed my own birth certificate.
Yeah. Well, anyway. No, but I like that you can be called something like absolutely batshit, like Army Hammer.
I see. I remember reading this was years ago now. It was it's tantamount to some kind of clickbait
Johnny
article.
Bonito.
It was it's a story of this judge in New Zealand that was just that was telling these parents that were just trying to name their kids fucking batshit names, and so like, no, you just can't fucking do this. And the one that always stood out was one couple was trying to name their baby Fish and Chips. And the judge said, no, you can't fucking do that. You absolutely can't name your child Fish and Chips. Get a fucking grip. His name's John. Get out. Fish and fucking chips.
Would that all be one word? I don't understand. That is abuse.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember any of the other names. I just like maybe someone was trying to name their child Codeine or something. It's like that child needs to go into fucking protection now.
Would that all be one fish and chips?
No, it was it was 2 words and an ampersand in the middle.
Fish and chips, and the middle name is ampersand kebabs.
Oh no! Well, no. Presumably, right? This was just the first name, so they still had a surname to follow.
Fish and chips Winthrop. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. Army Hammer has a fun name, and he's lost his career because he's into cannibalism fetish shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's basically what the lawyer, his lawyers released a statement saying, this is just fetishes. Everyone's
Why has he
kind
got
of
a
playing
lawyer?
a part.
I mean, is he facing? What's he facing?
Well, I think I presumably this has come up because of disgruntled girlfriends. I don't know. They're trying to kind of paint it as abuse, but they're trying to, and I think it's becoming libelous now. So his lawyers are basically trying to clarify this is all consensual. This is just role play in the bedroom type stuff. But it doesn't look good either way. To be totally frank.
Right.
Well, like I said,
why? Why? Tell me more.
Well, all I can say is that I guess it's whatever you kind of sign up for, but he's definitely sliced someone's skin and drawn blood, to which he probably sucked the wound. I mean,
yes, that's weird, but if that was consensual, so what?
I do agree, but I can see why no one's going to be that interested in kind of hiring that man anytime soon, really.
Okay, that is weird to me because, I mean, if you'd have said like he convinced a woman to like amputate her finger and eat it, like fuck, that's.
Oh yeah, that is extreme.
But but I don't know. I mean, for me, the problem would be like, did he like trick these people into doing this or something?
I really don't.
or manipulate them into doing it or something like that.
I think that's what they're trying to kind of point towards. But I mean, at this point, that's everything I read. I heard there had been some controversy, so I quickly gleaned some stuff online, and all the kind of thumbnails were kind of saying the same thing. It's like they're not really going to elaborate on anything any further than this. So I thought, fuck it. But yeah, so that's why I thought I'd throw him a bone, put him in this biopic. But one thing that I did learn is that even though he's not likely to be getting work anytime soon, doesn't fucking matter. Apparently, he is the sole heir to an oil fucking fortune. So,
an oil fucking fortune.
Oil fucking fortune, yes.
Right, and yeah, right, okay. Like Batali.
Well, yeah, maybe that's not a very generous fortune. Maybe he does need the work. I don't know.
Right, okay. I see. Okay, well, yeah. So you're saying that in your biopic, he is going to play you. Army Hammer's comeback. He plays Damien, my life covered in turds.
Yes, because I imagined it. Yeah, because it'll be disgusting, and he's no stranger to filth.
Oh, okay. Okay, and what do you want to tell me what happens, or does anybody? Are you interested in if anyone plays anyone else in your life, or is it just?
Well, that was
just a film where it's just you in an apartment watching a tumble dryer in your pants, eating salad cream off Fritz crackers.
Well, that was just one route. That was just one route. I thought that would just be like some kind of experimental art house thing. There's no narrative structure or even dialogue. It's just one prolonged shot. It's absolute agony to fucking watch. And of course, I see that and I think, yeah, that's my fucking life. Anyone else, it's just
Andy Warhol comes out and says it's too far. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Well,
I put a lot of work into that.
Good, I can tell. Yeah, I could tell. I could hear like the ruffling of papers and everything. You obviously put a lot of time into that, as I would have expected. So, anything else to say about your biopic?
Not just yet. I'd like to hear what you've got in store now.
Well, obviously, I was thinking Johnny Depp to play you.
To play me? Okay.
Yeah, to play you. And your father. But it would be. I was thinking a combination actually of Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean and Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas as your dad, and Johnny Depp as Crybaby as you.
As Crybaby was. Let me just give quickly.
Yeah, have a quick look at that. It's a John Waters film where Johnny Depp plays Damien, who is able to summon a single tear at a whim and so seduce all the ladies.
I see. I can see why you went with that for me, yes. That sounds exactly like me.
You're a master of seduction.
By who's
Handsome
reckoning?
You are. You're always scoring with the ladies, aren't you? I thought.
Is that a joke?
No.
No.
Well, maybe it's because you're out of the kitchen.
All right. Okay. I see. All right. I'll take that. That's flattering. That's not what I expected, though.
Yeah, and I don't know what the story would be. Just you have a miserable life. I couldn't even say it.
Oh, you didn't need to. This is why we, revived the podcast.
I imagine the film is about this exact period in your life, and it's like, oh shit! I'm sorry. What's that film with Walter Matthau? You
Odd Couple.
Yeah, I do. Huh?
Odd Couple.
Odd Couple. Yes, The Odd Couple. This is the Odd Couple. Also, like Dennis the Menace. It's like that. It's in this decrepit mansion, and these two people have to live with each other, and they hate each other. Also, a bit of Mousetrap. Lee Evans could be the postman. You don't see him in movies anymore.
I don't. Yeah, I don't suppose you do. Is he still alive? I kind of think.
Well, you know what that means, Damien.
Welcome to Is That Celebrity Dead?
Okay. Well, I'm seeing here that Lee Evans is 5'9", but he is not dead.
Oh, okay,
Right.
fair enough. I just
Okay.
figured that he has like the heart of a hummingbird or something like that, and it must have burst by now.
Right? Yeah. He sweated himself out of existence. Yeah. Yeah. Shit. I'm very sorry as well. I've forgotten the actor's name. I know you'll know it immediately when I say Pepper Saltzman.
Oh, Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane. Nathan Lane plays me, and I'm popping in all the time, like trying to dispute, sort out the disputes and stuff. And like I live next door with my wife, and we have this like idyllic like pastiche of American sort of like dream suburban life, and my wife is played by a young Dolly Parton. My wife, Nathan Lane's wife.
Of course, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's just Nathan Lane, and he's in the dressing gown and the chinos, and he just acts like Nathan Lane. He doesn't, he's not like me at all. But that's me in there.
Just wrestling the flush bucket from either one of us to try and keep the peace.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, Johnny Depp, Jack Sparrow's your dad. The stories about you guys have to live together. You have to mend your relationship and all of that. Maybe, I don't know, do you think we also need something? There's a mouse, and you've got to get the mouse or some shit.
No, we can't do that, because if there's a mouse, my dad is only going to rear it and love it and call it his son after a certain amount of time has passed.
Okay,
no,
so
we can't be doing that. I might tear the house apart trying to get rid of this fucking thing because it stole my dad. But no. That's not going to fucking fly.
So maybe the sort of driving force behind the film then has to be something like, you guys, you live on like the opposite wings of this big decrepit house. You only see each other at the breakfast table. You don't really like each other. Sort of antagonistic. Father son. Will they bond again? And then what makes you bond is the bank's going to foreclose on the house. So what are we going to do to get the X amount of money we need? And Damien decides, I will get a job. And Miles decides that the walls are filled with precious metals. And that's the conflict, because they're not. And it's just him like ripping this house apart as you are like going to a chicken factory.
Well, that's why
that's
he's summoning these rodents. I mean, he's not a hands-on man. He's not going to actually apply himself to the labor. No, he's going to enchant the local wildlife to come in and burrow through the walls.
Yeah. And occasionally, like, you call your mum. It's only like a little bit, so she doesn't need to be able to act. But I think your mum should be played by like whoever the most famous current porn star is. Like, and really, like, you got to get the porn makeup artist in and say, like, you guys, you're holding back. I want her to look like a clown.
All right, yeah, this is Damien's mum we're talking about. She's absolutely total trash.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, it has to be like the drawing of a prostitute from the perspective of an alien. But she doesn't act like that or anything. That's just what she looks like. I imagine she's like in sort of like Senate wear, like she's in a maybe a skirt suit. That sort of like I don't know, like dark cobalt blue that they all seem to wear. Despot blue. She's got a pin and stuff, and she's got her hair in a beehive, or sort of like a quasi beehive, a Palin-esque sort of thing.
Oh, okay, I see, I see. Just yeah, a face plastered with slap, absolutely giant sweat at me. But the rest is all business. I've got you.
And you like ring her up, and it's like, Mum, Mum, it's really hard to ask, but how do I ask a girl out? And like in the back, she's talking to you, and in the background, there's just like she's in the office, but in the background, you can just like hear beach balls and people laughing, and like really buff nude men, no, like topless men, like really ripped topless men, like playing in the background and like tugging on her, and she's just like, "Oh, sweetie, you just got to go up to her and be yourself, all right?" Anyway, I've got to go, and like in 30 seconds, she's gonna be like sucking a dick.
Jesus. I just want to. I may as well
No, there's
clarify
anything
for
wrong
the
with that or
record.
anything. I'm just,
Just clarify for the record. My mother isn't this woman in reality. We're just painting an elaborate picture for yucks right now. I don't mind trashing
Yeah,
my old man, but my mum. Oh no, she gets
No.
passed.
I mean, I didn't go into this thinking I was going to say any of this. This is just coming out.
I didn't think it was a reflection on my mum. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just for those at home.
No, I've met your mum like once.
She was so unremarkable. I don't remember anything about her.
Oh,
damn.
no.
That's
I
even worse.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm thinking. Who am I thinking? Yeah, that's right. Naomi Campbell is your sister. Just like flinging things at people.
Like what? Just things, whatever's close to hand. I don't know.
Yeah, like little dogs, telephones, credit cards, throwing them like shuriken stars. Yeah, whatever.
Because when I hear the word fling, I don't think of someone throwing something. When I hear fling,
Like flick with like.
I know.
action.
But when I hear fling, what I think is someone shitting in their own hands and just kind of nice flick of the wrist and just like you fling shit.
But would they be shitting in their own hands, or would they be shitting in a milk bottle to create a clagnut?
Ah.
I remember someone at school saying, "Do you know what a clagnut is?" And I said, "No." And they said, it's when you shit in a milk bottle and throw it at someone's house. Like, when you. Like, who's ever done that? So when I do that, like, I've done that many times, but I've never had a word for it.
Yeah, the
Also,
etymology
I
of the word is quite
understand it
bizarre
either,
as
because
well.
for some reason I always imagined it being a plastic milk bottle. I don't know why. Obviously, it would have to be glass.
Yes, yeah. I suppose we should clarify. How common are glass milk bottles? Are they a thing at all anywhere where you are? Because I haven't seen them for fucking years now. But
No.
yeah, I mean,
Damien and I come from the old country where
we did
magic
have
men in the middle of the morning, in the early morning, would appear at your doorstep and leave 2 pint glasses of viscous white liquid.
yes, presumably
On your doorstep
unpasteurized
for the public to interfere with. We lived in a country where people definitely wouldn't inject heroin they wouldn't inject heroin. AIDS, pure AIDS, into these things. I mean, they can't exist now, right? Milk bottles.
I don't think so. And, well, yeah, definitely not now. But I can't remember when I stopped seeing them. It's got to be a long time, and it's just as fucking well because I believe it was my grandparents that set up the standing order for this house when I was growing up. So they had them send far too fucking much, and we just have this backlog of milk that we would never really use, and I was the only one that I would only use it for like cereal in the morning. That was
Just
kind of it.
drinking milk by the pints. Just to
Oh
get rid of
no! It's much worse like that than that because, like I said, I think this milk was obviously not treated with preservatives or pasteurized or anything like that. So when you have we'd have like 5 or 6 bottles in there, and had no idea how long they'd fucking been there. So every morning it was a fucking lottery. Are you actually going to have your breakfast, or are you about to shit your fucking lungs out? Because some mornings I used to open up that stuff, and you couldn't tell until you peeled off the lid. Not that the smell would give it away anyway, but you could only see the solids that had formed when you peered down the rim of the bottle into it. And so, some of the stuff that used to come out of those bottles, unlike anything I've ever seen or smelled in my fucking life.
We're beginning to paint a pattern of neglect.
Yes. But if I ever, if I broached my dad about the topic, he would say it's my fault for not rotating it. It was down to me. It was my responsibility as the only person that had the milk. It's like, well, why do we have so fucking much? We need like one bottle every 2 days.
Damien, throughout history, milk rotation has always fallen to the eldest son. I mean, milk rotation, like what you mean, like pour it out? I mean, what's rotating it? Like the milkman won't take your undrunk milk.
No, I mean...
Do we need to explain how milkmen work? I mean, because it does, like looking back, that does seem so archaic.
Antiquated, yeah, it's bizarre. They just kind of
Basically,
go with like an
Explain
open-faced van, and they just have these cartons of, these crates of these of milk in glass bottles, each a pint, and they would just go door to door and just, leave, you'd set up your order, whatever you wanted, gold top or whatever, fucking whatever, and then that's what you get. But my grandparents decided that we needed two bottles a day.
The next day they would pick up the bottles.
Yes, you leave your empties out, they take them away, and then...
Yep.
Ooh.
And and they would always do it at 4:35 in the morning. So if ever you were up at that time, if you were going somewhere or coming back from somewhere, you'd see them and someone would go, "Ooh, milkmen are out." Like, oh, it's a full moon.
There was a point where we'd have so much that we just weren't using. Stopped taking it in from the back door, and somehow still the guy didn't get it. Just kept leaving more milk outside.
Well, he probably had to. I mean, you bought it.
I suppose so.
So what? There were just like 30 milk bottles, undrunk, untouched milk bottles outside.
There must have been a point where we will have had over a dozen pints of milk on the premises. Yes.
You just couldn't be bothered to even bring inside.
Yeah, I mean, what was the point? By the time we got to it, it was all cheese, the most lethal cheese that. Oh man, yeah. I don't know if you've ever had milk that's off, but it's some of the most disgusting shit you'll ever have in your life. And sometimes
I've never like eaten it or drunk it. No, but
sometimes I would get careless and I just wouldn't check, and I just swig it from the bottle, and then oh my fucking god, the stuff that would come out of me immediately. Oh, it's like Epicac. Nothing like folds you inside out faster than milk that's turned. I mean, I've never.
So what? Would you just chug it and then realise, or what?
Yeah, basically, I wouldn't realise until it was like too fucking late. I'm a kid at this point. If that gets me off the hook at all, I'm not sure it does.
Yeah, but I think that would only need to happen once for you to treat all milk in your house with caution.
Yes, I'm fairly certain it was only once, but I knew it happened once, and it was a fucking painful ordeal. But after that, I would do my due diligence, of course, but every time I would smell that, it was a trigger. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have to be far from a smell like that for me to instantly revisit that painful fucking experience.
Yeah, just like Orange and Alphonse.
Oh yes, yeah.
Was that what it was?
It was mango, wasn't it? Orange and mango.
Mango and Alphonse.
I used to cut the Hawaiian woodrow seeds with. That's a. I mean, obviously I can remember what orange juice tastes like, but I'm glad I've forgotten what the taste of those fucking seeds were like. Jesus, that was I never come across something that was like almost painful to taste, because it felt like I was seizing up while I was holding that stuff in my mouth. It's absolutely fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I guess I'll fill in the listener. When Damien and I were young, we somewhat experimented with drugs that we could buy legally in Britain, because we didn't have any connections or friends, and or money really. And one of them was Hawaiian baby woodrow seeds, which I don't know if they're illegal now, but they were perfectly legal to buy, and they can make you. I mean, I wouldn't say they can make you high. They can make you trip, right?
Yeah.
And what you would have to do is you would have to eat them or put them in your mouth, crunch them up, and keep them in your mouth for about a minute, and then swallow them, and they would taste absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely
the
fucking rotten.
reason they were legal, I think, was because they were so unpleasant.
Yeah, there's no way you could like do them habitually, really. It's just it was just too much. It's far too fucking unpleasant to actually want to do that. We did it because we were committed, because we had nothing else to do of a Sunday afternoon. The alternative was kratom. It's like that. Fuck that.
Fuck that. Yeah, that was terrible. I can still taste that.
Oh, don't. I'm fine for forgetting the flavor, but I remember how it looked in the glass.
Coming out of me.
Well, yeah. You really suffered from it. I seem to remember that
I
one
was
night.
very ill.
But the fucking silt in that glass. Oh,
Yeah.
no, fuck that.
It's sort of because I don't know. I've heard people talk about kratom and say, oh, it's good. It's meant to be. I think it was sort of sold to us. Again, it was legal to buy, and that's we bought it from a legal website, and that's why we got it. It was sort of sold to us as like, oh, it's like a sort of less potent weed. It mellows you out, right?
Yeah, I seem to
think,
remember having
and-
absolutely zero success with it. 'Cause
No, it was either like we had to smoke like 20 joints of it, or or like drink a fucking
Pint-
smoothie of it.
Yeah, and that in particular was fucking rough.
Because I had something like it before in India called Bang, which you like mix into a smoothie or a lassi, and that's all silty, and it doesn't taste great either. But that got me high, like sort of like weed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a recommendation then.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever go again, that's legal. I bought it from a government store.
I drank it in front of a police officer. I was a badass.
Oh no, but I told you about that time. My dad was at the Indian-Pakistani border in the 80s, and I guess it was the Pakistani border guard came up to him while he was crossing and said, "Hey, do you have hashish?" And my dad's like, "No, I don't have any hashish. No." And the guy said, "Hang on," and he pulls out this massive brick and he says, "You want to buy?"
Good lad.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. What were we saying?
I have no fucking idea. At some point we were talking about
Yeah.
my movie.
Yeah. While you're just sat in your pants watching a tumble dryer.
Yes. No, we were talking about your interpretation of it now. Your casting.
Yeah, well now I'm thinking, Johnny Depp is your dad, but you are played by Dan Aykroyd. Because when I think of like a schlub hunched over in his undergarments watching a tumble dryer, I think of him.
Fair
I
enough.
think he could play that really well.
Yeah, really
and
nuanced
look sort of sad
performance.
but sympathetic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I find that preferable to Johnny Depp, personally. So yeah.
What about if it's a live action film, but you are played by Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh?
I mean, I see where you're coming from. That's a
'cause
nice
you're sad.
fit. Yeah, I'm miserable and hangdog all the
Yeah.
time.
All the time.
Okay. All right, we'll pencil all of these things in, and
Right.
next time round, we'll I'll have roped it all in, and we'll have a more polished product. It won't be finished. That seems a bit, ambitious, but I think there's something there that we can like legitimately work with.
Yeah, and all we've got to do is sort of project confidence to the investors. That's the main thing. As long as they think we know what we're talking about, it should be fine.
It should be fine. The only hiccup is me projecting confidence, but I guess if I'll let you take point on that one. I'll just stand at the back. I'll do my best not to look at the floor, and I'll just tape my mouth up. That way, I don't give up the ghost. Should be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, who would you have play all these people then? So you got Armie Hammer for yourself. If this is your take, who would you have?
Well, actually, Armie Hammer was just like my first idea. I thought we'd talk about his weirdness.
Yeah.
I thought I would go with
Armie Hammer, he's weird.
He's weird.
Jared Leto,
Discuss.
He's weird.
I don't know this actor, for lack of a better word, but he has a very smug face, and I thought he'd be perfect. Jacob Tremblay. Are you familiar with him?
No, let me look that up.
Child actor, if I got the name right.
Jacob Tremblay. Oh, yeah. Okay. He's 4'8". Okay. He's a Libra. Oh, that would work. What? Okay, why? I'm looking at him and he doesn't look anything like you.
No, but I seem to remember I looked like quite a smug, obnoxious kid.
Really? I don't think so.
Well, I felt like I was a smug, obnoxious kid.
Oh.
I'd give myself a fucking slap if I ever ran into my child self again.
I don't know, though. I mean, if you're thinking to yourself, I'm smug, that's not smug.
Well, the other reason I thought I'd do it... oops, sorry. The other reason I thought I'd go this route is that I thought the biopic would focus on one minor tale of my life when I was roughly 15. I seem to remember I had like a cold sore at one point, and my dad's girlfriend at the time thought she'd kind of help out because I think I wasn't really suffering with it. It wasn't a major one. I think I used to get them on and off when I was a kid.
Whatever happened to her?
Yeah, they just broke up and they went their separate ways.
Emma?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her. She was cool.
Yeah, she was. And then
fucking cooler than Sophie.
Fuck yeah. Well,
Jesus.
She had a fully functioning brain, for starters.
Not an alcoholic.
Yeah. Emotionally balanced. It's wild how appealing that makes you as a human being.
Not an angry alcoholic.
Yes. But she thought she'd help me out, even though, it wasn't anything too aggressive or anything. It was just like I had a small scab on my lip. She recommended, I believe it's called Dettol. I got that right? Right? Like a rubbing alcohol. It sounds like a toilet bleach. I might have the name wrong. I think I remember Dettol. But she gave me cotton butter this, and the idea was just to kind of dab it. So she gives this to me, and then she kind of walks off. She gets sidetracked by something. She neglected to mention that I'm only supposed to, actually dab it. She comes back like, a couple of minutes later, 5 minutes later, whatever. She realized that I've been sat there holding this rubbing alcohol to my face. She's like, oh, we shouldn't fucking do that. It's like, all right. Oh, it does feel a bit tingly. Yeah, I suppose you're right. The next fucking day, since I had fucking submerged my face in this fucking crap, I had this massive, massive, massive chemical burn across one side of my face that engulfed my mouth for the next few days. I know over that weekend, I seem to remember it was on a Friday, I had to go into school with this massive rash around my face, which is fucking bizarre. I took the weekend off. My mouth had gotten so dry, it completely seized up. The whole thing, it was just chapped, splitting, bleeding, and what have you. And I thought... that would be perfect for this because I think we have like a sort of Toxic Avenger vibe going on, and it's an excuse to melt this smug little shit's face. So, yeah. And I thought that, so school days,
so like
Damien,
this
but
kid...
I thought you would be played by Jackie Earle Haley.
Okay, let me look at who that is. How is that spelled?
Jackie, Jackie.
Yeah.
Earle, Earle.
Yeah.
Haley, Haley.
Okay. What's he been in?
I saw him years ago as Rorschach in The Watchmen, but every time I've seen him in a lot of like TV stuff. He's always played these really kind of grizzled, kind of "I'll eat you when you sleep" type characters. Really, really fucking nasty pieces of work. And I like the idea of little Jacob Tremblay with half of his face melting off, just gadding about his business. Around Fanshawe with Jackie Haley fucking shit up.
It's this kid, and he's basically dressed as the Phantom of the Opera. Right? He's got like this mask where you can clearly see he's deformed, and then it's grown-up Damien and George are Nathan Lane and Dan Aykroyd with that same mask on.
Okay.
I
yeah.
also like the idea of me played by like Glenn Close.
Okay, explain.
I don't know. I think she could. I think she could probably do a good impression of me for some reason. I get that vibe. But then that leads me to, and I don't think he could do a good impression of me, but I would be flattered if he would play me, Paul O'Grady.
No, I've got it. Richard O'Brien. There we go. In his
Richard
Crystal
O'Brien.
Maze gear.
That would be great. Yeah, Richard. I basically am Richard O'Brien. The poor man's Richard O'Brien. Oh, I told you, didn't I, that I watched The Crystal Maze out of complete boredom. Oh, yeah, it's The Crystal Maze. I remember this. I used to love this as a kid. Fucking boring.
Oh, really?
Unbelievably boring.
Oh,
we
dear.
had much simpler tastes back then.
Was Richard O'Brien entertaining at least?
Yeah, he was very entertaining. It was almost sort of bizarre how entertaining he was. And then he was like, "So, Patricia, you work at accounting?" Yeah, that's right. I don't know what they do to people now to get them like jazzed up, but these people were, obviously, shy and nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. And it was not good TV, the one I watched, at all. It was very boring. And then the actual like Crystal Maze challenges were like, right, you got to get this crystal out of this effigy of a crocodile's mouth. How do you do it? Ooh, gotta think about this for 10 seconds. Okay, it involves pumps, and then she's worked it out. She's got to do this series of pumps. Can she do it before the 3 minutes? Times out, and that's it. And
I seem to remember that 90% of those contestants were absolutely fucking rubbish at everything.
it was always like we've got a group this week. We've got a group of Anglican priests, and it was always like that, right?
Yeah.
Or these people work in an office.
And I seem to remember the prizes were pretty shit as well. I seem to remember I saw someone win a bicycle on that, like between the group.
It's not even like you've won a mountain bike. Just you've won a bicycle.
You've won 6 hours at a Centre Parks. Not even a full day.
Minimum 72-hour purchase. Yeah, and then you had The Price is Right, which had the sort of better prizes of a jet ski. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. But that was
was
was that Bruce
Forsyth?
Yeah, there we go.
And it would always be like a woman, maybe two women in like a bikini, who looks like she's going to do a pageant, sort of like draped on this jet ski, and it's like no one in Britain looks like that and is going to use that.
Absolutely, yeah. Fuck that. Well, kudos for shilling out for a fucking jet ski, I suppose. I mean, all these things can't even hold a candle to my favourite, of course, which was Pets Win Prizes with Dale Winton. The prizes would just be an additional hamster wheel or a piece of plastic tubing to give your gerbil a wonderful fucking time. Now, I don't remember fucking anything about that game show. What the contest actually entailed, I can't remember. I just remember the name. I remember it being always in this kind of, the set with this nebulous kind of white space. There was nothing, I seem to remember. At least maybe that's when they were introducing them or announcing the prize or something, but I remember it taking place in a void.
Yeah. I mean, that is the worst prize I can ever think of. An extra tube for your hamster cat. He doesn't need any more tubes. This tube doesn't even go anywhere.
Have a dog.
I'm just gonna block it off. Have a dog. Yeah, but the best one was Supermarket Sweep, where the prizes were essentially
shopping.
What can you loot? And it would be like, oh no, Barbara's just filling up her supermarket trolley with beans. What the fuck is she thinking? Whereas the guy who knows what he's doing, he's there getting the TVs down in the electronics aisle. But yeah, what a sort of sad state of affairs.
I suppose so, and I guess people were very critical. Maybe Barbara just wanted beans. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe she's just filling up her cupboards. She's being practical.
The weakest link, where these people endure these rounds and rounds and rounds of torture, and then Anne, what's her name? I was going to say Anne Widdecombe.
Robinson.
Anne Robinson says, whoever wins the weakest link will win £1,292. You could have got more if you weren't shit. It's like you could win up to £10,000. Well, if you have a perfect game. No one's ever got anywhere near that woman.
You're ridiculous. What are you talking about? What does that even mean?
Absolutely ridiculous. All these TV shows would be you can win £100. For God's sake, give me something. You said you could change my life, Noel.
Oh, we get to play a bonus round of Are They Dead or Not?
Is that celebrity dead?
Yes, there we go. Dale
Redux.
Winton.
Dale Winton, right.
Oh, I already know. He's no longer with us, surprisingly.
No.
Yeah, a couple of years back,
not
apparently.
Dale.
Yeah.
Barrymore's good brother. Oh shit! Yeah, he died. He did die. Oh wow.
Yeah.
He died on April the 18th, 2018, but he wasn't buried until April the 22nd, 2018.
2019.
What the hell? So he wasn't buried for a month.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Do you know why Dale Winton wasn't buried for a month? Could you write it in the comments, perhaps?
I like this. People also ask, what happened to Dale Winton? Who did Supermarket Sweep? Is Dale Winton died? I'll screenshot that for you.
Why does it think when I write Barrymore, I want to know about Drew Barrymore? No.
Yeah, there's only one.
The Barrymore. He is still alive, because there is no God.
Did we ever talk about the Flash game that we were going to make at school?
Yeah, go on, tell them about the Flash game we were going to make at school, but didn't. Not the Flash game where you were going to replace all the Doom characters with pictures of me. The Flash game where we were going to make a top-down...
Supermarket Sweep.
I guess it was essentially Pac-Man, right?
I suppose so, but you were chased by Barrymore. And then we dispensed with the title altogether. It was just Barrymore Watch.
Barrymore Watch.
Even though you weren't really conducting any surveillance on Barrymore at all, you were trying to escape for dear life.
Yeah, he was going around slapping bottoms. It was gonna be like Pac-Man, sort of, where there was just one ghost, you're Pac-Man, you'd have to eat anything, and there are other Pac-Men, NPCs, and Barrymore goes around slapping their bottoms, and your job is to avoid Barrymore and not get your bottom slapped. And I think it was because at the time he was undergoing some sort of molestation charges or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was whatever.
People went round to his house and they were like, "Oi, there's a dead body in the pool. What's that about?" And he was like, "I don't know nothing. I was doing cocaine all night."
Too busy slapping fannies. Come on, guys.
And I don't mean front bottoms. What? Wink, wink.
Oh dear. What's this? An unslapped fanny. Come here.
Spins and videos. Yeah.
I mean, that's a flawless Barrymore impression for those who aren't familiar.
I don't even remember what he sounded like. It sounded like that. One Barrymore. Was it like that?
No fucking idea.
That's why his career never took off. He was very inarticulate. Okay, so that's your. Okay, so yeah, I like that. Jack Earl. What was it? Jack Earl.
Jackie Earl Haley
as me.
As
Yeah.
you, and
Yeah.
Jacob Tremblay as the Toxic Avenger as me.
Cool. Yes, so my biopic. So I was thinking, I think it would be quite funny if you had Chris Hemsworth as me,
Okay.
like in the same set, wearing exactly the same clothes, and just like this hulking mass, like talking into the camera and like even reading the same script I used for one of my videos, but he's not doing an impression of me. He's still got the Australian accent.
Okay, I'm following so far. It's weird, but I like it.
That's it.
Go on.
That's all I got for that idea. That's just like a little idea out on its own.
Okay.
That was funny. Yeah, I guess the problem for both of us with our biopics is there would never be a biopic about either of us because neither of us have ever done anything.
Hence the tumble dryer.
The tumble dryer, yeah, exactly. So I guess for me, we've got to say, I don't know what, like, where would it go? I mean, yeah, for your thing, I really like the idea of having, you know, the Odd Couple Madhouse sort of thing.
Okay.
But for me, I think it should be sort of like, you know, like an exploration of a mad person, sort of like almost like a cross between like that film about Andy Kaufman and Shallow Hal. And I was thinking, like, it should be about like, sort of like, you know, oh, this YouTube narcissist, and like most of it is like maybe it's even like me sort of like talking to the camera, and when it's like me the way I see myself, I'm played by Raul Julia, but like when it's me as seen objectively or by other people, it's played by Christopher Lloyd. As you know, as Gomez and Fester.
Oh man.
Like I'm really like confident and everything, and then like I look in the mirror and it's Fester, but then instead of being like, oh no, I look like Fester, it's Christopher Lloyd going, bah, boo. It's just weird. Yeah, do you like that?
I do like that. I like that a lot.
Yep.
I can tell that a touch more thought went into that than what I brought to the plate this week.
Well, I mean, you know, well, that's why this is only a 7-minute podcast, because we, you know, so dedicated to the topic.
Yes, and our craft, of course.
Craft? What would our craft be? Podcasting.
Yes, of course. It's a noble trade. I will make sure it's in my family for generations.
It's better than working, except you don't make any money.
Yes, but that's in the finer print. We don't talk about
You
that.
don't need that. We're heading towards a place where no one will need to work.
Exactly.
Computers and videos will do everything for us, and algorithmic machines that hammer steel flat.
Flat? Why flat?
Because it's going in and it's not flat enough, and then you need it to be flat for, you know, like, you know, really flat-looking kitchen countertops.
Okay.
I suppose you want a bit of a camber to those, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, you need some kind of embossed details there. It's a bit...
I'm not talking about details. I'm just talking about, you know, to get the liquids on the, you know, to not collect. Drain onto the grate floor.
That's why you have it like a giant spoon, but have it designed with a hinge so it can be detached. So once it does collect, you pour it away. Or in my case, you take it upstairs, use it to flush the toilet. You know, make it a multi-purpose kitchen countertop. I think everything in this house should be engineered to flush my toilet, George. I mean, we've got kitchen countertops now.
In the old days, the barbarians used to defecate and cook their food in 2 separate places. Now we know better with the kitchen toilet.
The modern barbarians.
So it's Raul Julia and Christopher Lloyd as me. I'm
Okay.
thinking Kathy Burke as my mum.
Okay.
I'm thinking Fred Dibner as my dad.
Hang on, I need to grab that one up.
You don't know who Fred Dibner is?
I do now. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm thinking for you, what do you think I'm going to say for you?
Is there something you used to rip the piss out of me with? I feel like there is, and I'm gonna feel foolish for not getting this. But I'm drawing a blank. Go on, put me out of my misery.
No, it's good. It's not bad. It's good. Alan Rickman.
I will fucking take Alan Rickman. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he is sad. It's a sad Alan Rickman, you know.
Okay.
He's less sort of like Time magazine and more like, Bottle Shock.
Bottle shock, motherfucker.
Oh, Bottle Shock, motherfucker.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really want to look that gift horse in the mouth. Really, I think that's fucking superb.
Yeah.
You'd
You'd have to get rid of the beard, though.
Okay, all right. I'm.
Well, you don't have a beard, do you? Do you have a beard?
I have a beard, yeah.
Yeah, you have a full beard, right?
Ish. I did my best during quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, I only know that because you sent me a picture of you.
Oh yes,
wearing
the
a piece
toast,
of
yeah,
toast.
and it's
Yeah.
just fucking sprouting from the bottom.
Yeah,
That looked
Like,
particularly disgusting.
it looked like it looked like a big Greek beard, which I was surprised at because I thought you couldn't grow a beard.
It seems to be that I have a very hairy neck.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that's the worst place to grow a beard. Anchor a beard. A neck
I've
beard.
been quite surprised with the results. Although my cheeks
That's the
aren't so bad.
one part of my body I shave is my neck.
No,
And eventually, if I follow in my father's footsteps, it will be my nose as well, I guess.
Oh God.
Not that he shaves his nose, just that he should.
I mean, I have seen those nose hairs. That is true.
Jesus Christ. I know.
No, I've been pursuing the neck beard route because I've also got quite a goiter as well. So I'm just trying to cover that up.
A goiter?
It looks like I've got a kind of almost amphibious-like pouch now.
Why?
Oh no, just I'm taking the piss.
Oh. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen you. Like, have you put on weight?
No.
You
But
said
I've
you'd
had
taken up running, did you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
That's bonkers.
Yeah, I know.
Why would you do that?
I've been fed up
Boredom.
of doing. Yeah, basically. I mean, I have like weights and shit here, but I figured I'd do the one thing I've never done in my life. And I think I'm quite right to do so. I mean, I went out only for like fucking 10 minutes. And
Yeah.
I came back with a fucking stone in my chest. I was convinced I was going to fucking throw up.
Yeah.
I've done it every other day since, and it seems it's getting better, but it's clearly something that's been neglected for a fucking long time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah,
know.
well. Where did you go?
Oh, I basically run the length of this road and back.
Right.
It's nothing glamorous. I didn't really want to kind of not really get lost anywhere, but I knew that I wouldn't be that far if I fucking gave up, basically. So I basically did a straight line and back. So I have no imagination, but it works. I don't care.
Man, yeah, I cannot imagine myself ever going running ever again.
Yeah, because you did it. You were quite into it. Well, you weren't into it, but you did it a lot.
No,
and you did
I wasn't into it, but I did it a lot, yeah. I did it a lot. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, I used to run... I used to run 12 times a week. I used to do it twice every day, except for some days.
Yeah, and you used to go for like an hour at a time at least, I seem to
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, no, it wasn't an hour. I used to do like a 3-mile run, and then I think it was like, yeah, I think it was like I did a 3-mile run in the morning, and then I did a 6-mile run in the evening.
Right, okay. Oof.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ, what was I thinking? It was so boring.
Yeah, that's what I've got so far. And I'm only out at 10 minutes, 10 minutes at a fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to exercise, I'd probably, like, cycle or something. But even then.
Yeah, that's what I keep getting recommended every time I talk about exercising outdoors. Because I used
Well,
to
I'm not
do-
recommending it, but I'm
No,
just
I
saying
mean, I
what
used to just go like walking and hiking and shit. That's
just
fine. 'Cause-
fucking just go outside on the doorstep and have a fag.
yeah, well, that's what I had been doing for a long time. That's why I thought I might have to fucking change that. I'm fucking miserable and I feel like shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose if you're not going anywhere, not doing anything.
yeah. But of course, swimming was going to be my fucking thing because when I came up here for the first lockdown, I brought fucking trunks with me.
Wow.
Yeah,
What
I
are they
know.
like? Are they like budgie smugglers?
Oh, nothing like that. I don't have the self-esteem for something like that. No, they're basically just trousers, but I've just designated them for swimming. A loose denim.
What? They're trout? I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen people get in with their fucking socks.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure Chris would be in, fully clothed. I don't think he takes his shirt off when he goes for a swim.
Why? You think he's swimming a lot? Do you?
No, well, of course not. No, but I imagine that. This is all hypothetical, of course, but I know that'd be something that he would have done definitely as a kid, probably for more innocent reasons. That his mum would be like, no. Because of the sun, if you're not going to wear sunscreen, you have to wear a top in the pool. I just think that if Chris is not going to outgrow habits like that. So even though if he were to go to a swimming bath or beach, whatever, even without his mother present, which I'm sure she almost certainly would be, he'd still be kind of hammer and tongs on that t-shirt fucking job. He might even double down and get a bit of some pullover action going on, maybe even a turtleneck.
Have you people at home noticed how Damien hates fat people?
I don't hate fat people. I hate
Yes,
one
you
fat
do.
person.
Because he's fat? No, not just because he's fat.
Yes, there's a litany
Because
of
he
reasons.
wants to be your friend.
All he was affectionate towards me, and that boiled my fucking blood.
It was the most obnoxious affection, though. Boiled my blood. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. And you really hated him being fat as well. I think it was like I don't know. I've been thinking about it, and I think it's like you didn't hate that he was fat. Stop me if I'm telling you what you think here, but
Go on.
it was more that like because we had fat friends and no one cared, no one said anything, whatever, who cares? But with him, it was like he was both obnoxious and had this sort of like really not deserved self-confidence. Where it was like, you should feel a little bit ashamed for being that fat, Chris.
Yeah,
Is that about it?
Yeah, well, I see
For
from
shame!
a lot of
Fat shame!
a lot of what we were doing in our campaign of bullying, I suppose, really,
Violence.
was that Chris had this really kind of enviable character trait. I mean, of never seemed to registering any of this kind of abuse, really, or criticism from anybody. He was just impervious to it, at least on on a superficial level.
Yeah.
Well, we dug deeper in the chemistry books, and as it turns out, friends are only friends, George, when it suits them. Sax organ solo, please.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he'd obviously gotten used to people telling him to fuck off and sort of rejecting his friendly advances.
I mean, so my
early on
point
in
about
life.
the fat thing is like I think we were looking for entry points really, seeing what sticks, and there's got to be something
I never picked on him
Gotta-
for being fat.
well, I just know I knew it was there were many jokes such as fat rage and stuff like that.
Well, it was a fat rage.
It was,
I mean, that's
and
not
that's
a joke.
kind of
That's
what-
just a fact of the matter. He's fat and he was in a rage.
Yes, but it was the way that you threw your arms up in the air and announced it to the class.
I don't remember that. What was that when? Was that when he fell on the ground by accident?
Oh god, that shit sucked because we did that. That happened to everybody, right? I remember that happening to me a couple of times. That shit used to hurt.
Yeah. But I seem to remember I didn't actually do anything, or did I? I can't remember. I thought he just like went to sit in his chair and missed and fell on the ground. And was like extremely angry that this had happened because he'd chosen to sit in the middle of a classroom, otherwise in a U shape, like right in the middle he was.
No, see, the way I remember it is that we'd been split up for like groups and stuff. Because I remember you being at the side of the room, the other side of the room with Chris. Because I remember just looking over. It was you when you announced Fat Rage that it actually piqued my interest. And I turned around and was like, "What's going on?" And I just see Chris on the floor. And yeah, you just kind of taking your hands off a chair and throwing them up in the air as he's kind of getting back to his feet. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you." So sure you were.
Sure you were. So I guess going back to the biopic, this brings me to the idea of
Casting Chris.
a hyper-realistic world where it's like gritty and everything, and you play you because what the fuck else are you doing, and all of that, and playing me is Master Shake from Aquatine,
Okay.
just as himself.
Yeah. I mean, so obviously live action. You're superimposed in there. Do I have?
No,
any...
it's a real living milkshake that we'll have to build. It's an animatronic.
Okay, fine.
It can't move. I'm always just stood still.
Because I was wondering if it's something that I have any awareness that you're there. I mean, it could just be the story of you just essentially in limbo. You're
It's like you're
desperately
speaking
trying
to Jar Jar Binks all the time.
desperately trying to reach out. And that's why you've taken the form of Master Shake, is essentially a brain for my attention, and it's just falling on deaf ears.
Like I could have chosen any form, and I chose to be that.
You would choose to be that. Don't sound so incredulous.
I'd like to know how it worked. I mean, I suppose the whole thing about a biopic as well is they're sort of ultimately depressing, right? Because usually they're the story of someone's life, and that ends in their death. And even when they're not that, they're sort of depressing. Like the Aviator, the Howard Hughes biopic, is essentially, yeah, he did this and this and this, and then we're not going to show you the rest because that's when he started to piss in milk bottles.
That's what you came here to see.
Yeah, I wanted to see a bit of that, to be honest. I was like, oh, he's not going to wear Kleenex boxes on his feet?
I said hop in.
Yeah,
That's a
I
real
don't know,
lovely model, Mr. Burns. Model?
Can you think of any biopics that aren't like sad like that? Like even sort of fictional biopic type films, like Bicentennial Man.
Hang
It
on.
ends with him dying.
Yeah, so I can't really remember. Is that... I always remember the poster being fucking weird. Robin Williams is a robot in that one, right? Is that correct?
Robert is a robot, yes. He's a robot that wants to be a dude and slowly over time becomes said dude. And, then when he finally becomes human, he dies. And he knows this is going to happen.
Well, like immediately.
I seem to remember, it's been a long time since I've seen it. I seem to remember it's like, well, over the years, he's 100% robot, and then he's 95% robot, 5% human. And, as he does this more and more, he starts to age and suffer the effects of being human. And then it's like, okay, you're in your deathbed, you're 95% human, and 5% robot, and if I flick this magic switch and the 5% robot becomes human, you will be human at last, but you will die because you're 200 years old. And yeah, that's what happens. He dies.
Fucking hell, that sounds miserable.
It is kind of sad, yeah. I mean, yeah. I seem to remember.
I don't remember that being a yuck fest.
Someone needs to come up to me and go like, you want to be human, right? Because they're self-determining and everything, yeah. Well, so are you. So don't worry about it. Like, why do you want to be human, dude? You're a robot, but you can think. You have the mind of a human, but you're a robot. Accept it.
Okay, so your biopic is slowly kind of steering towards just bullying Robin Williams, the robot.
Just stay as a robot. Like,
now, I can't remember. Does he see you as Christopher
I'm trying
Lloyd
to get him to
or
accept
Raul
who he
Julia?
is.
Yeah, but you don't do it with, softly squeezy kind of tactics. You're really fucking harsh.
I'm having a sword fight with him. Where
No,
he doesn't have a
you are
sword, he's
brandishing
just
a
using his
sword
metal
and run-
forearm, and I'm just thwacking him. Robots do not become men!
That bot is shocking.
Crew? Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I don't know, discuss. Can you think of any biopics that aren't sad?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head at all.
Can't think of any biopics. No thinking about this at all.
What did you expect?
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to be quizzed on this. I just thought I had to cast my parents. That would be it. And that's what I've accounted for.
No one else. I'm assuming I don't have children or anything.
No, I mean, I was pretty generous.
Significant interaction with other people.
Not at all. Not. Oh, come on. You know it's me, for fuck's sake. So... Yeah,
I was thinking that in mine, the antagonist of my film, like my rival, like Pokemon style rival, could be Pro Jared.
All right, now what kind of? So you're saying Pokemon type rivals? So what, you poach local wildlife and you have them do battle?
No,
on your behalf?
I just mean because in that game, you have a rival all the time, right? Who's basically you doing exactly what you're doing, and because of that, you're a rival, but better. Yeah.
So what? That's naturally why you pick Pro Jared.
Yeah, because as you know,
He blows
I
your
have
channel
an
out of the fucking water.
An enormous amount of crossover with Pro Jared. Not everyone who watches Pro Jared watches me, but everyone who watches me watches Pro Jared.
Of course. I know you've got like a Sailor Moon costume somewhere in that place.
I was just about to say, go on, say something. I was just about to say that.
I mean, I haven't looked. I don't think I've looked at anything Pro Jared related since that evening where we discussed that Unfold.
What were our conclusions with the? I mean, not that I'm particularly interested in getting into that, but we were like, oh, okay.
We were kind of. I think the consensus was it wasn't shocking that he's a fucking pervert. Was that?
But was he? Did we even conclude that he was a pervert? I mean,
I don't know. That Sailor Moon thing was enough. And I don't think there's as much kind of playful humor in that as people are trying to say. I think that's just a thing.
Yeah, but so what?
Yeah,
Army Hammer's over there eating ribs. And
preferably Pro Jared's. It's fine. 2 birds, 1 stone.
I didn't mean to bring this up to hate on Pro Jared. I mean, I don't know the story behind any of that. I don't care.
Yeah, I guess not.
I don't watch him anymore. Just because I don't. Just don't. Nothing to do with anything like that. I just stopped being interested in watching stuff about games. I guess.
See now I feel.
It's not
bad.
like he stopped being interesting. I just stopped being interested in that.
Fair enough. I'll tell you what. I'll
I
mind my own
could
business.
just see the Pro Jared lawyer line. No, it's just no. I mean, is he back?
Oh, I've no fucking idea.
Oh my God, Pro Jared's back. He's giving him the chair. No, the reason I brought up Pro Jared was I remember joking with you when I first started my YouTube channel. Should I call myself Pro George?
Of course, yes, he did.
That's why I brought it up. And yeah, that brings me back to the biopic, because I was also thinking, who should play me? None other. And it should be like throughout the entire film. This is a film about my entire life, whatever that may entail. But from birth to death, it is played by a 15-year-old Mussolini. Yeah, and that got me thinking about the channel art. You know, the Mussolini.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. I still occasionally get people asking me about that.
Oh, yeah? What, anything positive?
Yeah, it's usually like, hey, I like your videos. You're not a Italian fascist, are you? Sort of thing. Like a reasonable thing to ask, really. Yeah, Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess I was thinking about. I got onto the Mussolini playing me, sort of partly because I love the Alexei Sayle bit where he's talking about looking like Mussolini as a child, and like trying to use it as some sort of leverage. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just sort of started wondering, like, the whole channel trailer, like I really like it. I think it's funny, and I was like trying to think like what is funny about it? Because I remember someone asking me once, like, "Oh, why did you do that?" And I was thinking, like, yeah, why did I do that? Why is it funny? It's hard to explain why it's funny to me. I guess it's like the channel banner. It's basically my face where Mussolini's face is meant to be on the somewhat famous photograph of Mussolini's fascist headquarters in 1930s Italy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I asked Damien to draw me like that, and you obviously thought, yeah, that's funny. And I guess it's like the combination for me of like looking at that, like this building in Italy that is the fascist headquarters in something like 1934, and it's got this like 3D rendered, like almost like Big Brother face of Mussolini on it, with CCCC behind it, and like the next door building is like an ice cream parlor or something, and it's just this weird combination of both being like incredibly like, over the top hilarious and terrifying.
Yeah, I think I think we agreed that it was a very fucking powerful move. I mean, it's like there's no fucking around. You know what that man's about when you see that.
yeah, like there's a sort of disturbing level of self-awareness in someone who otherwise did not seem to appear to be very self-aware, and came across as pretty mad.
Yeah, well, it could just be his marketing department that have their shit together.
Yeah,
you may never know.
And and obviously that sort of extreme element of narcissism over it, and it just seemed fitting for a YouTube channel.
It's your critique of the YouTube community at large, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know why I wanted to talk about that. Mussolini. Yeah, Mussolini is me, and then Hitler is you.
Oh my god.
Child Hitler, before he's done anything wrong. Like 14-year-old Hitler. We're both in short shorts.
Oh man, so
not short shorts. I didn't mean short shorts.
Like hot pants.
Yeah, I know what short shorts are. I didn't mean short shorts. I meant like short trousers.
Yes,
shorts.
We'd romp through the fens and spinnies, of course, like we did in our youth.
Yeah, what's the point doing that if you're not going to get Lyme disease?
Of course, yes. It's the element of risk which is what made that appealing. Otherwise, you're simply romping, and that's just
skipping through a bog.
Yes, I don't need to simply tiptoe through the tulips. I need to know I'm being chased by a large beast.
And then again, if you live in Cirencester, I mean, I can't imagine Cirencester is very different from where you live, to be honest. Like, I imagine, it's sort of like oppressively boring.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if Skinner was, gadding about town there, then it couldn't have been too lively.
If he was going around preparing unforgettable luncheons. But he's not. He has his own life elsewhere. And you've been left behind. Not far from the Sainsbury's you used to work in, and will one day work in. And
Oh,
retire in.
don't. I mean, that's what starts to be on my fucking like shame and depression spiral. Just depression spirals at this point. I go out for a walk and then I end up like, walking past the old school. And it's like, Jesus, I haven't moved on from fucking anywhere. It's all still here, and I'm still here.
And you'll be 40 years old, and people will be able to walk up to you and go, "Excuse me, where's the utterly butterfly?"
It's you.
You've never learned.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, is that on the cards? A job at Sainsbury's?
Maybe. Absolutely, yeah, maybe. It's running out of cash. Need cash. I mean, I know the job. They gave me a.
You managed to retrain.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, that's how I'll pitch it. They won't have to waste any money on that, and I'll remind them of the glowing references they gave me when I left because I was a model employee.
Yeah, I mean, when you went and transferred down to the London Sainsbury's, the one and only, they put you straight on the help desk, didn't they? Because of your clear, articulate voice.
Yes. In comparison to the rest of their workforce.
Yeah, relatively, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure it was in there once. I heard you come and I went like, you said like, good evening, everyone. There's we've got a special offer. We do these special offers sometimes. It was like that. It was great.
Yeah, there was one where I completely fucking shit the bed.
That's when we came up with the idea to do this podcast. Wouldn't it be great if the tannoy had two people?
Oh, Jesus. There's one where I completely wiped out on the mic, and they asked me to kind of announce that they were opening up till somewhere else, just to kind of help regulate traffic. But you weren't really given a script for any of these things. But there were like a few kind of regular messages, and so you just practice them off, and you'd reel them off effortlessly. Well, not effortlessly, but like, all right, we're closing in 10 minutes. Gather your shopping, that kind of stuff. This stuff, what they asked me to kind of specify 3 to 4 different things, and they asked me to piece that together in this long diatribe on the fly. It shouldn't really be a problem for anyway.
But
you have
I
to
mention Tesco's in this.
But for whatever reason, I just got into this thing, and I just completely blanked. And I swear to God, I literally went. Across the fucking tannoy, and I didn't, one of this girl that I was working with just kind of watched and thought it was fucking hilarious. I didn't regain anything after that. I just stopped and I didn't try it again. So someone just kind of went, "Well, what we're doing is," and then that was it.
Oh, so you didn't,
no further information. No second attempt.
I thought you were saying that there were people shopping, and then they just suddenly heard, and then that's it. But you're saying you started.
I started, but I didn't. Less than 10 words before I completely fucking shit the bed. And that was it. And I seem to remember no one else, took it upon themselves to kind of actually pick up the mantle and tell them what they needed to know. That was it. We just left. We cut them loose. Didn't bother trying to move the traffic over to wherever it was or whatever we were doing. I can't remember. That was it.
We've
just
got a special offer on Cumshard creams and Pingus.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, I imagine it would be nerve-wracking. No, seriously. I mean, not for either of us now. Now we're at a point in our lives where we just do not give a shit. But
that's the only noise I would make on a tannoy now. Maybe some heavy breathing.
The management has made a fucking mistake giving this job to me.
Be very clear with the explicit language as well. Because it was Chiswick, and that would cause a furore. Oh my, who could possibly? It's like that guy. We were shopping there. We were at the checkouts, and we were like stood 2 feet from a guy, right? And he asked us to back up several times because his assumption was that we were trying to get his card details. It's like, oh, for fuck's sakes, dude!
Get his PIN number, which I would then do what with?
Exactly. And so we're going to acquire
very
that
weird.
card. It's not the problem is that we're probably beating the living shit out of you, not that we're going to take the card, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I seem to
know.
the first time we were quite amicable. So all right, fine, just kind of turn away. But apparently we weren't further enough away. So within like another 10 seconds. But this time his tone was really quite pointed. And it's like, he does it again. It's like, we could be going to jail this evening, Damien.
Right? Yeah, I seem to remember not being that happy about that.
No,
do
I seem to remember you were fucking furious when we left that shop.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Like he turned around. It's like, it wasn't like staring at the card reader. It was probably like looking at my shoes or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
And
no,
I
not-
seem to remember the proximity shouldn't have been an issue. It's not
No.
like that was unusual.
Yeah, unusual. An unusual hoity-toityness in that store, which
Yeah.
is frequented by Colin Firth's wife, who owns, or did own, a claptrap store on Chiswick High Street somewhere. Did you know?
Did not. Now I feel all the better for knowing that. Thank you very
People
much.
used to see him in that Chiswick substation at Chiswick Sainsbury's.
I remember seeing.
Isn't that interesting,
Oh,
listener?
it's almost as interesting as this. I saw
Hollywood life.
used to see Adrian Childs there, which I'm sure no one knows who that is, but he was briefly.
Adrian Childs used to live in the building of the man I used to know who lived near there.
The small man.
And used to look... Yeah, that's one. And he used to come in and out of the gate sometimes and hold the gate open for me and look... Meh.
Very.
And I
a
fucking had
gentleman.
dinner with the Welsh woman who replaced Christine Bleakley.
Oh, okay. Well, you
Most
lived this-
famous for her awkward interview with Bruce Willis.
I did not know that. Okay, cool.
They were all banging each other. That's what I got from it.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
Because I was there with the camera. I just looked across from the balcony, and there they were, everything hanging out.
They weren't having sex. They just all stood around.
Yeah, nothing's going on. Nothing, I mean, untoward by some of the standards we've discussed this evening. They were just looking really intently at each other's genitals, but keeping a healthy 4 or 5 feet distance
just
apart.
Storing up the memories for later.
Yes, the spank bank. Lovely.
This one will have its own deposit box. But there were happier memories, though, at that Sainsbury's. Remember Azar's Wares?
Yes, Azar's Bazaar.
Azar's Bazaar. We used to know a gentleman called Azar, who lived there. What a lovely man. What a sorry tale all that was. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember some of it's coming back to me now. Yeah, he was obviously used to give us the most delightful deals on the food, but you got to know him quite
I got to know pretty
personally,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, he was a Pakistani guy who spoke like immaculate English and was clearly well educated. And I don't know why he'd come to live in Britain at some point in his life, but he had. But in Pakistan, he was like a senior marketing director. And in Britain, he was stacking shelves in Sainsbury's.
Oh.
And yeah, and I don't know, talking to him, it was, I don't know, I just felt bad about that. But I got to know him really well, and he was in charge of the reduced section.
Yes.
And that sustained us for a long time.
Absolutely,
It did sustain
it did,
us.
yeah.
I mean, I think we've already talked about the Terry's chocolate oranges and everything. Do you want to give it another go? We're at 2 hours. What's wrong with rehashing shit? People listening to this aren't conscious by now.
Yes, absolutely. The chocolate orange was quite a steal. It was such a guilty secret as well. It's like, oh, well, all right, if they're here tomorrow, we'll do it. Needless to say, we come back. It's like, oh my God, now, what was it, like 50p, something like that? Maybe even less. So we
Chocolate
got like,
orange is usually about £3, and then we saw them for like 80p.
it was less
like
than
loads
that
of them,
because we got
and then
like
it went down.
We got like 15 of the fuckers, and that's basically what we ate for the next week.
It was like being introduced to like a super remedial stock market where you're waiting for the price to go down, but so are other people. So like, well, it's 50p today. I'll buy 4. Okay, so today now. Okay, so it's 40p. Okay, so should I wait? Should I buy anything, or should I buy all of them? And then the next day it's 25, but there's less and less. And then we were buying them for like 15p at the end. I mean, we were buying like 20 pound, not 20 pounds, 20 pounds birthday cakes for like £2.
Oh yeah, that's the what. I'll try that again, shall I? That's
No.
what I remember. It's staying in. You sound like a prat. It was the Batman birthday cake. That's the one that I remember because we basically just
Did we buy, like,
bifurcated
5
that.
of them?
Well, I don't, but I just remember there was one night at the small man's place where we got absolutely off our fucking tits, and what we decided to do was basically just bifurcated this cake, really dispensing with the notion that we're only just going to have a bit. We each had half of this birthday cake each, right? And I presume
Covered in
quite a
cream.
small. It wasn't covered in cream. We had quite a deep dish, right?
Yes.
And we basically put the cake in and then just almost completely submerge it in cream. Sorry.
I remember we did this several times with different cakes we would buy, and getting into the groove of, I'm just going to dispense with the sponge because it just tends to mush instantly and it's empty calories. All I want is the thick as fuck icing.
Yep.
Just sat, just essentially like an unrolled roll of icing in pure cream that is going to, be legally unsellable in a matter of hours. That is what I'm going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yep.
It's that or the Ritz.
Yep, and we had rules. We'd steep it in the cream first because
Rules.
there was a way. There was a way of preparing it. A preparation. That's the one.
Yeah.
No, we liked it at a certain kind of texture and viscosity. Once that sugar started melting into the cream, that thickens up ever so slightly, and and the icing itself it's just mush. It's perfect.
I call it hypergruel.
I mean, I'm surprised. There wasn't some kind of diabetic shock, really. Because
I mean,
it's not
I've
right?
often thought, going back to the Hawaiian Baby Wood Road seeds, that like I'm going to suddenly wake up and be 23 again in that flat. And be like, fuck it all. All right, okay, well, I better get to work then. Yeah, I'm waiting for that. So maybe, but I suppose I could be in a diabetic coma, yes.
I do have that nightmare that this is all Jacob's Ladder. And I'm still on that fucking mattress on that floor, running back and forth between the bathroom, convinced I can taste copper because somehow my insides, I think, are melting because I'm a prat.
They're rejecting the poison.
Ugh. Man, that I hated that fucking stuff.
Yeah,
it was the longest night of my fucking life.
Which one?
Oh, because
All of them.
Well, no, there was because we started in small doses, right? We worked our way up, and then there was a point when the dose was 21 seeds, and that was the night that I thought I was dying.
I took 25.
Oh yeah,
So
no, you didn't have as much trouble with that stuff as I did. I mean, like a lot of that stuff. I mean, I don't typically smoke a lot of weed that heavily because I get fucking paranoid so easily. I can't really relax into it. And it's the same with this. I just fucking went berserk.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Good times.
Just like sat on the stairs going, George, you must make sure you don't let me fall asleep because I'll never wake up.
Yeah, and then you got
man.
annoyed that I was trying to do that because I remember putting on Gary's mod
Oh yeah, and that was
and you were like,
no,
"It's
this is too-
freaking me out."
Yeah, it's like too frightening for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. I didn't even consider it, but when you said it, it was like, okay, yeah. Let me think. And then it's like every Simpsons episode I picked was always like the one with Homer's face melting off or something. It was like an exceptionally dark one that I'd forgotten or something. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, on the, whatever, the Psychonaut website or whatever, where they were talking about this stuff, and it was recommending doses. Like 25 was like the maximum, like, and I remember the description they put was, don't do this.
Yeah.
And that's why I did it, and it was great. It was great. I could still feel the fucking itching behind my eyes.
Oh man, don't. Oh, it's just. Oh no, I hated it. I fucking hated it. Oh, sorry. I'll stop making these weird noises. It brings it out of me. It brings it out of me. I'm glad
We used to wash the seeds down with orange and Alphonse juice, as we said earlier, and that's why. Even though I like him, I do have a slight internal cringe when I see Alphonse Riviera, or just the Fresh Prince. That's why.
Absolutely, yeah. Didn't it used to be that we'd grind them up and then we'd steep them in the orange juice, right, for a little while?
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
was it?
something.
Okay.
Well, we tried it a few different ways because like fucking chewing on them and just eating them was not gonna happen. We tried that, and I think we almost brought it straight back up. It was fucking foul. I think we read that maybe you can kind of break it down in a liquid and then swish that around your gums, and it might absorb it through the blood vessels. Which I think I think that's what worked. That's what we did, as I remember it.
Oh, and
it was like if you were particularly brave, you'd actually swallow the mixture because the idea was you spit it out.
Oh. Yeah, I would swallow it, and then you'd feel really ill, wouldn't you? That was the problem.
Yeah,
and that would happen because we would do this, and then we would go to Morrison's to buy some shit, and at Morrison's is when you would start to feel really ill and like have to crawl home. That was part of it. Was like being outside Morrison's, and even though our flat was like, I don't know, 1,000 yards.
Oh yeah,
away, it was like, oh,
it was a nightmare.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking as well. Another person who I would like to play me in my biopic. Okay, so actually two people. Ron Howard's brother.
Oh, yeah, okay, Clint Howard, right?
Yep, Clint Howard. Yeah, he could play me grown up, and as a kid, Warwick Davis.
Of course, because that's the size you were when you were a child.
That's right.
Excellent. I mean, a younger Warwick Davis, or as he is now? We throw in the pot now.
I don't know. I mean, would a younger Warwick Davis, like if Warwick Davis was 8, what size would he be? I mean, because he's, I guess he's the size of an 8-year-old now. So when he was 8, would he also be that size, or would he be like very, very small?
I don't know.
Was he like? I mean, when he was 8, was he like Tom Thumb?
It's a very good point that I've never considered until this moment, but I don't suppose I've ever seen a baby little person.
Yes, people born with dwarfism. Sometimes, I guess the PC thing is to call them little people, even though I find that sort of.
I find that, I imagine that
incredibly
must be
condescending.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever, I don't know. Yeah, you never see a little one. I mean, sorry, you never see a baby one. You never see a kid one. It's like pigeons.
Have you ever seen a pigeon egg? No, they don't exist. They're just like an immortal entity that have always been here.
They do, because I remember when we went with Big Trev to the photography teacher.
He got one at 200 yards with his umbrella.
Yes, he went to the church to take photos with us, and like he knew what it was. Like he could smell it. He like broke off a fucking.
I smell fear.
A pine fir, of this tree, and there was like a pigeon with some eggs, and the pigeon flew off in distress, and he fucking crushed the eggs under his heel, and then launched his closed umbrella at this pigeon and skewered it.
I don't remember the eggs.
I just hate pigeons.
Yeah, Jesus. And I seem to remember the way I remember it is that when he launched this umbrella, it was with a perfect javelin form as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if
Like
that man had
Olympian,
had competed in the Olympics some point in the late 70s or something.
I mean, was it because the pigeons were in the way? Like, he's been taking photography students up to this church for 20 years to take photos, and he looks through these photos these kids have shitly taken of this church and goes through them and there's like, that's not very good, there's a pigeon in it.
I mean, I'd love to believe that was the case, but you'd never get a critique like that from that man. He'd tell you exactly mathematically why it was shit.
I remember, because we did photography at school, which sounds very la-di-da, and was, I guess, but yeah, it was a small class for a big school, and I don't know, there were 30 kids doing it in the year, and like 26 of them were doing it because they couldn't draw, and they had to do this or art. Is that fair to say?
Yep, absolutely.
And our teacher, Big Trev, knew this and had given up on life long before we met him. And to be fair, yeah, I mean, the pictures he would get would be like, yeah, go out and take a picture of a church, go out and do some interesting stuff with reflections, and it would be like, here's a church, and it's like, well, but there's a telegraph pole in front of the picture. Oh, well, yeah, but there's a telegraph pole there. Well, go to another angle. I don't know. I mean, he didn't do a lot of teaching, so.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Swings and roundabouts.
That's that first term, first 2 terms, whatever it was, where nothing but
3
dictation was absolutely perfect. I mean, if that's not a thoroughly an attentive syllabus that he's constructed, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I mean, it was all the information. It was just, an appalling way of teaching it.
Yeah, they really sucked. I forget what it felt like when my hands used to fucking ache in those lessons, just writing ceaselessly throughout those lessons.
And I couldn't tell you, at the end of the lesson, I couldn't tell you what I'd written. I was just, keeping up with writing.
I guess the inference is that you would take it away.
It sounds like we're 60 years old when we say stuff like this.
It does. It does feel like this should be on like a chalkboard, right?
Yeah, I mean, I remember, we were doing photography with film and developing film, and I can't imagine that's going on anymore in schools that are teaching it.
No, of course not. No.
No, I mean, why would it? I suppose.
I mean, I guess I don't want to say I feel lucky, but I'm glad that I got to kind of learn how to use that stuff. I couldn't use it now, why, of course, but I did kind of learn the.
It's easy. It's easy. You just develop, wash, fix. The hard part was getting the thing open. I seem to remember.
Yes, yeah, and that was like the only. He tried to manufacture that into fun. I seem to remember. He'd give you the spool and the film, what have you, and you'd have to load it in the dark. And it was didn't he do time trials or something like that? And for some people, it was a real point of pride. And I say that, of course, because I was rubbish. And my time was fucking atrocious. So, of course, I'm thumbing my nose up at it because I was shit. But still, the people that were good at it were far too smug, if you ask me.
You're saying that if you were good at it, you'd be saying it was a really important skill, and
Yeah, I'd be saying, "Suck it, George."
I was a master of it. Yeah, yeah. Like that time, I wanted to bring this up in your biopic because it definitely should be in there. Like that time when, like years and years after school, we were talking about like the cool kids in school, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't want to hang out with those," and I never really, got it, and that's why I didn't. And you were like, "Oh no, I wanted to, but I just couldn't." Do you remember saying that?
I don't remember saying that.
Is that how you feel? Or how you felt? I mean, sure, that's not how you feel now.
Yeah, I can't imagine ever really thinking that.
We didn't have any cool children.
Well, yeah, and I can't really...
Children can't be cool, by definition. They can't smoke, they can't drink, they can't ruin a vote.
Very good point. Yeah, I don't remember... I don't remember ever really caring about that shit. That's why I hung out with you.
Yeah, that's right. I was the cool kids.
I'm not going to pull at that thread. You're absolutely right. It's what you said, sir.
I don't know. I mean, it baffles me when I watch you know, I mean, it's all American stuff, isn't it? You know, high school films or films that have that. I mean, our school wasn't like that. They didn't have cliques and stuff. Whatever. We don't need to talk about that. Who cares?
I like how you gave up on that. Am I right in thinking that there was definitely like a social divide in terms of class? Because they're definitely like the scruffy kids would always be with the scruffy kids, and then the kind of preppier people kind of would coalesce amongst themselves. Or am I just making that shit up?
You know, I think that you are absolutely right, and I don't think I'd ever actually thought of it in those exact terms. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, I guess there was, huh? Well, why did you hang out with me then? Because we must have been. I mean, for that school, I was a poor kid, right?
I suppose so. Yeah.
I was on free school meals, so yeah. I mean, you know, my previous school, you know, I think most of the school was on free school meals. But
I mean, I did home lunch because my dad wouldn't give. I said he wouldn't give me money. It's just I don't think he either thought or had anything to give, really.
Yes.
So,
Your dad wasn't going to make you anything or give you any money.
Well,
Yeah.
I must have. I don't know
Not
if
as
I've
an
ever mentioned it on
active
the
fuck you,
podcast,
but again, just through neglect.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I mentioned that on the podcast before, but I was definitely making like packed lunches for me and my sister when I was like 8 years old because
Yeah.
fucking hell, no one else was
And
doing
that's
it.
why I called you fish and chips.
Oh, I'm bringing it right back round. Very nice.
Yeah, so yeah, well, why were you, I mean, yeah, there was a class divide. Tell me more then. Go into that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I thought I was making it up a second ago, but
No, I think you're absolutely right. I never thought of it like that, but yeah, I guess. I mean, it was predominantly middle class.
and surely some of the forms were kind of organised that way as well, right?
Jesus Christ, you're absolutely right.
Because
Yeah,
because
G.
yeah,
They
it
were
was a
all
G, yeah.
They were all the working class kids. Jesus Christ, you're absolutely right.
Ah, that's fucking disgusting.
Fuck me. Oh, man. Yeah, and they didn't know what to do with me, I seem to remember, because, like, I guess I was a fairly willful child who, I don't know. I was from, you know, the dirty city that most of them weren't from. Most of them were from the clean little town. I don't
Yeah.
know. You tell me, is that right? Or am I looking too much into that?
I don't know. I mean, because obviously you were transferred from that form. Was that something you requested, or you? Or did it just happen? Because I know some kids did do that, but it was out of kind of like certain requests. I know, like
No, so
one of the twins
I
had that done for like bullying reasons.
No, I joined that form like halfway through the year when I moved schools, and yeah, they put me in that form because I guess it was like the dumping ground.
Right.
It was like a really bad form, and then yeah, like someone called my mum up like a month later and went, "Does George want to go into a different form?" And yeah, I think it's just because that form is where the sort of troublesome kids seem to have been put, who yeah, looking back, were the working class kids, or the children of working class people. And yeah,
Otherwise, they
did-
were down the mill.
they just put me in there. I mean, Well, that's sad.
Yeah, it is. So I'd like to. I'm going to say I wonder if that's still practiced now, and I'm almost absolutely sure it is.
I mean, I told you, didn't I, that when I was an adult, I was I went around a school for some reason, like on a tour with some people. It's not worth going into. It's not that interesting. But I sat through an English lesson that a teacher was giving to, I guess, some like 15-year-olds, and they were going through exam questions, like exam question examples. Like this is the sort of this is the sort of sorry, not exam questions, exam answers.
Gotcha, yeah.
This is the sort of answer that would get you an A, because you do this, this, and this. This is the sort of answer that would get you a C. And they used a bad example that was obviously not very well written. And the woman said, I don't know what they were thinking writing this. It was probably some northern child.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Just offhandedly. Because obviously I'm not northern, because I don't speak like that all the time, just when I'm really drunk. So I mean, I don't know, do I sound northern?
No, you don't.
No.
I mean, I suppose there are a couple of like pronunciation things, but those things are few and far between.
Yeah. Bobbins.
Bear bobbins. I can hear your skin crawling. I know you fucking hated that.
I don't know, I mean, having grown up in Yorkshire, and being exposed to the Yorkshire accent like so much, and like, just through exposure, like, I've got to say, I would, when I meet English people here in America or just hear them, I would much rather hear someone go, "This is fucking Chicken Town," rather than someone speak in a sort of plain or even posh accent. At least with a Yorkshire person, I'd be like, "Oh, hello, how you doing?" I don't know, man. I hate English people. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I can. I'll second that. I mean, how much I fucking loathe London now, and its denizens. There's almost not that I require friendly people around me as a prerequisite for where I live, but fucking hell, sometimes when I kind of travel out and people just say hello on the bus. I mean, for me, it's so fucking bizarre. I'm ill-equipped. I mean, someone's simply kind of extending a general courtesy, and I don't know what to say. It should just be hello. How are you? How are you doing? And I just can't. I can't find that when that happens. Like, what the fuck are you doing? We're in public. You're a stranger. You could have a knife. I can have a knife. I might. I might brandish it right now.
Are you laughing at me? I'm Burning Man.
But
I'm Steaming Man.
I'm Tepid Man.
Boiling point. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm steeping my cake in cream.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is Sheffield and the surrounding areas, are they more friendly than London? Yeah, probably. Thinking about it. I don't know. Like, London was pretty unfriendly compared to everywhere else I've been. I mean, New York was much more friendly than London.
I don't remember. Everything in New York when I went there happened so fucking quickly. I didn't really take notice.
Yeah, right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, well, okay. Well, do you have anything else to say about the class divide? See, now I'm thinking that, yeah, the Fred Dibner thing for my dad, that makes sense. Yeah. And it should be, now it should, me as a kid should be like a really dirty-faced Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, chimney sweep kind of vibe. Okay, yeah,
chimney sweep kind of vibe. And then obviously, adult George is Dick Van Dyke.
But in, what was it,
In Diagnosis Murder, yeah.
Of course, yes, thank you, you took the words out of my mouth. None of this fucking Mary Poppins shit.
Yeah, no, he's Dick from Mary Poppins. He's a chimney sweep, but he's operating on people and, occasionally solving crimes that his son, for some reason, brings to him.
Yes, of course. But, of course, as a medical
professional... And my son will be played by Chris Hemsworth. That's right.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, the different stages will be baby George is Mussolini, and then, like, young George, sort of, 5 to 8, is dirty-faced Charlie Chaplin, miniaturized through the power of resizing. On screen, and then
on set.
On set, yeah.
Got a shrink ray.
It's all like really expensive mirrors, and then like 11-year-old to like 30-year-old George is Clint Howard.
Yep, got you.
Yeah, and then I guess from then on it's going to be, like 70-year-old Dick Van Dyke in a bald cap.
But he sees both Raul Julia and Christopher Lloyd kind of lunge at him from a mirror every time he goes to the bathroom.
Maybe they're more like they're more like my good and bad conscience, like the devil and angel next to you, except
they're literally sat on your shoulders.
yeah. I'm like bench pressing them, and Clint Howard gets absolutely fucking ripped for this, and he's bench pressing them, and they're like, they're doing the argument, the angel and demon thing, but it's not an argument on doing a good thing or a bad thing. Raul Julia just wants me to go to like a strip joint and get wasted and possibly bang a hooker, and Christopher Lloyd just wants me to eat iron filings and watch Top Chef. And like possibly electrocute myself at some point in the night for a laugh, and and like both of these are really appealing to me. As I'm
not really a conscience at all. Himself. Just they're just embodiments.
No, they're real.
Of
they're real. They just live there and just tell me what to do.
I remember that time in your life. Yes, it's good call, good casting. I think, yeah.
Yeah, and my dog is played by Thing, but it isn't just Thing. It's Thing with his entire arm, like up to the elbow, and then where the elbow is, there's another Thing, like Cat Dog, but with hands.
Hand.
Hand. But I'm thinking, right, would it be, if Thing is a right hand, would the other Thing on the other end be a left hand, or would that also be a right hand?
Also be a right hand, naturally.
It would also be a right hand, so it's like somebody else's hand.
Because, exactly. Because like a left hand and a right hand connected, that shit can happen. It happens all the time, I think.
Right, so you're saying that isn't...
It's not weird.
Crazy enough.
No,
it's not
no.
weird enough, right.
It was supposed to be unnatural, so it obviously have to be two right hands.
Yeah, and this Thing is like... It's Thing with the elbow and the other hand.
Oh, Thing, sorry, not it.
But it is a dog. Like it can't be reasoned with. It's just crawling everywhere and like wants to be everywhere you are.
It's always sleeping in your bed.
It's always sleeping in your bed. It's always pissing on the Turkish rug.
Where does it piss from?
That I keep at the bottom of my Turkish bag.
Or is it going to be like eggheads and they just kind of piss out the tips of their fingers? Coneheads, sorry.
Eggheads?
Coneheads.
Right, yeah. It's eggheads with
Dan
CJ
Aykroyd. So I can have my little cameo in your biopic.
I watched Eggheads recently. Well, in the last 2 years. It was good.
Are we talking about the quiz show now? The
Dan Aykroyd film.
Oh, I haven't seen... I haven't seen that in decades. It was all right, was it?
Better than I thought it would be. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
It's better than Eggheads.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I don't know. I do enjoy Eggheads, or I did. I haven't seen that in years either. But I would love it when, Daphne with a fucking shit-eating grin would get like wiped out by some motherfucker. she like well, I'm going to choose history because I'm 1,000,000 years old, and I'm going to choose the 19-year-old boy with the baseball cap because he's not going to know anything. And it turns out like he's like in Oxford, like doing a master's in Oxford 3 years early in history, and he just fucking smashes it to bits. That's what it's worth watching for.
He's wearing quite a chunky bomber jacket, and then you realise why, because when he puts his hand out underneath his jacket, he produces a fucking howitzer from underneath and absolutely makes sure there's nothing left above the neck. 200 rounds.
He just sits down, and you realise it isn't a chunky bomber jacket at all. He's just a chunky lad, and he is Henry VIII, and he's a vampire, and he's lived for hundreds of years, and so has become an expert on quite many topics.
That would have been funnier, but I didn't say that, so I guess I'll just have to be one with my shame and humiliation. Thank you.
Because I was also thinking as well with the sort of arbitrary who would play you nonsense. We've also got like the sort of question of what would you do if you won the lottery, and what would you do if you lived forever? Like, like if you were a vampire or whatever, you just live forever, would you make it your business to learn about loads of shit and become, like, in 1,000 years, would you know, 50 languages, or would you just still be speaking English?
It depends. If So I can live forever, but are there any threats to my life? Is it? Does my life just kind of go on, but I can be done in by something? Or
Because you're looking for a way out.
Oh no! If I'm completely impervious to harm, then I do absolutely fucking nothing. There's no need to do anything whatsoever if I can't be killed.
Completely impervious to harm. The only way you can die is, by wishing it. You would do nothing. You wouldn't like, stand in front of trains or anything. You would just use this as a. What do you mean? Why? Why would you do nothing?
Well, there's no impetus to do anything if there's no. Yeah, there's no threat to my life. What's the value of learning skills if it's not to fucking?
Jesus. Wow.
I'll just, find a room, a nice sturdy chair, and I'll just wait until the end of time.
So basically,
I'm presuming that I'm not going to be a slave to regular bodily functions either. But if that's the case, I guess I could prepare a bedpan and maybe a lackey that would maybe tend to that. But otherwise, yeah. Blanket in the winter, I guess.
Benedict survivor. Right, I see. Okay.
Sorry, are you disappointed by that? I think that's perfectly logical.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to enjoy anything. If if you can't die, then you could do all sorts of things that you couldn't do now. You could jump in a volcano and see what that's like.
I guess so, but I could, living forever, you could essentially experience absolutely everything there is, get bored of it all, and then just stop. And then, proportionately, the time you spent doing nothing, having experienced anything, makes that look as close to having done nothing the whole time as makes no odds.
Yeah, but you're speaking as if you're jumping ahead to 10,000 years and we're just looking back. You have to live through this. Yeah. I get it. If you're gonna live forever, you wanna pass out your time on Animal Crossing. Don't use all that at once. but sitting in a room for 3 years doing nothing to do that is going to be an unpleasant thing to actually live through.
All right. Well, at a push, I might play Tiny Tower for a bit. But yeah, I feel like. Without those kind of threats, I would be perfectly content. Though, so on not like a kind of divine fundamental level. There's just I think I've made my point. I'm not going to keep rehashing it. You either get it or you don't, and you clearly don't. So I'm not going to try and get through.
What would you do if you became immortal? Nothing really. Right, okay. So I guess that's the same answer for, if you won the lottery, a massive windfall. If you made $500 million on the lottery, what would you do? What would you spend it on? Would you spend it, or would you just let the milk bottles accumulate and not worry about that?
I'd probably get a flush bucket gilded with gold leaf or something, nice and fancy.
Don't even move out.
I might get one of those heated toilet seats.
I bought one of those luxury duvets to staple to the wall over the window.
Yeah, I suppose when I was doing that, I only had it was just a bog standard blanket. Yeah,
Batman one.
Well, it wasn't that effective. So I actually, in conjunction with that, I'd light about 20 tea lights in my room as well.
Jesus Christ.
It's a miracle I didn't burn the house down, really.
Yeah. Oh, you should just get a brazier. And start putting coals on it. Jesus, right, okay. So if you won the lottery, you do nothing with that money either.
I told you I get that nice flush bucket.
Okay, that's going to be a tiny fraction of your winnings. So what are you going to do with the rest of the money?
Maybe it's fragile. I might need replacements.
So there's nothing even you want. You wouldn't buy yourself.
I'm doubling down on being as boring as possible, George. I really am. It's the answer to everything. No, I'm doing fucking nothing.
Yeah. I suppose if you're only worried about survival, you've won, really, haven't you? Until you haven't.
That's a t-shirt. Not a very witty one, but yeah, a t-shirt nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when are there ever any witty comments on t-shirts?
Well, I mean,
It's always like fudge.
one by one, these penguins can be sealing your sanity, George. And that shit is fucking dynamite hilarious on a t-shirt, as we know.
He who laughs last thinks slowest.
Oh god, he had a fucking slew of them as well. I only remember the penguins one.
Define normal.
Oh god. Was that a t-shirt or was that just something that he tried to
That
hit
was,
us with highbrow?
his motto.
Oh dear. I mean, a lot of people kind of outgrow stuff like that. I'm sure Chris. I'm sure he still lives by that. Still a mantra for him.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, I guess we're done with biopics then. Yeah.
We said a lot, didn't we? I hope so.
Yeah. A lot of words were said.
whether or not they're of any value is to be decided.
Yeah. Is that you letting your knob out? Sans Hosen.
Yes, yeah. The usual kind of rub doesn't kind of get me to chub anymore. I have to really aggressively windmill now these days. Doctor says I should drink less, but I just won't. God damn it!
Yeah.
On that shocking note,
thanks everyone. All right, see you. In about a month, I guess, for the podcast, and next week for another video that will, I guess, have some effort in it, and won't involve Damien. So
there you go. Net gain
that.
there.
Net gain. All right. Bye.